Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inkwell Society here on twitch.tv/D&D. I'm Rudy. I will be your dungeon master as Maze Arcana presents Inkwell Society. My dice are getting flown in right now, so they're coming.
Don't make us roll for ourselves.
Don't trip over that thing. Don't do it.
We'll kill
Thank you.
ourselves.
So, before we get into some fun, playing some games, Kyle's got some announcements, one of which is our really awesome little giveaway contest.
We have fan art contest tonight.
Fan art!
You have an hour and a half roughly to go and vote on Twitter for your favorite of the 4 finalists on the fan arts for fun. So far, I believe we're at around 150 people who voted. So vote more, and vote often. Well, you get one vote.
Unless you have multiple accounts.
Yep. If you can go make accounts quickly, you can stack the deck. What that gets you, if you get to be the winner, is you get this lovely little dice tray with this elder script on it saying some secret message that we will tell you once you win. Woo! Also, we also like to talk about our sponsors like World Anvil. WorldAnvil.com, where you can go and you can get all of your campaign stuff. You can learn how to keep your maps and keep your notes and kill your characters. And okay, don't kill the characters. But you can put all your stuff there. We use it all the time. Rudy's got a bunch of stuff in there that we're not allowed to see yet.
Yeah, the hope is that I can actually turn that into a kind of a wiki-based thing for everyone, yeah. And we'll do a giveaway for a World Anvil Grandmaster.
Ooh, that's the big account.
Later. That's the big one. It gives you everything. It's for a full year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a nice.
That sounds like a cool prize.
Yeah.
Speaking of campaign stuff, also the Rook and the Raven is one of our sponsors. The rookandtheraven.com is where you can go and you can get lovely little campaign booklets where you can write down all of your notes and all of your character secrets and you can keep all your spells in those little pockets, and it's got lovely little bindings, and there are all kinds of different styles. You should go check them out. They got some pretty cool stuff. Of course, speaking of cool campaign stuff, there's campaign coins. Campaigncoins.com. You can go get all kinds of money. They've got different denominations from singles and all the way up to thousands. I believe 10,000 is the biggest one. So you can get your hoard of gold in actual gold or silver or copper. They've got cool little carvings on them. They've got character races. They've got cities. They've got all kinds of neat stuff. Of course, speaking of the giveaway, Wormwood makes these cool dice trays that we use and these dice containers that we use to keep our dice safe so that people don't put bad mojo on them. Especially when you go down to New Orleans. Sig just went and visited down in New Orleans. He has all kinds of mojo with him tonight. Yeah. Hopefully it's all good and it keeps us alive.
It's all good.
So, Wormwood.com. You can go get your own stuff there. They also have dice towers and stuff. You can actually see all kinds of great craftsmanship with all kinds of different woods. Go catch those there. Of course, Idle Champions is still out there. If you haven't started playing Idle Champions, what's wrong with you? You can play it even not just on Steam where they started. You can play it on PlayStation 4 now. You can also play it on Xbox. Now you can't use the same account on all of them. You got to make different accounts because they weren't allowed to mix the accounts because they weren't playing well together on the platforms.
Cross-platform's hard to do.
Those platforms are kind of stingy. But go do it. It's free. You can have fun. You might even be able to get Vlanya. Might even get RPG. You go and kill all the monsters. We've got a few other friends in there. But go check them out. Of course, we've got other shows on D&D you should catch up on. You can check out the show lineup at D&D.wizards.com. See what the current lineup is. We're doing some changes right now, and shows are going on a hiatus. A few of them have just had some season breaks. Speaking of other shows, somebody's got a cool podcast.
Yep.
Life Action Roleplay every other Wednesday, so not this Wednesday because it was last Wednesday, and it'll be next Wednesday, but not this Wednesday. You can catch it on all the pod things.
Spotify too. We just got up on Spotify.
Cool. Spotify and iTunes and what was
Podbean.
Podbean. So you can go catch them there. What were you talking about last week?
Last week, oh, I gotta remember. Well, we recorded one, and so I've got to remember which ones we published.
Good thing you
out, but-
recorded it because you forgot it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of really good stories about some of the adventures that people got up to in
Cool.
some of the European labs, like the Harry Potter one.
Oh,
That's
that's
not
cool.
actually a Harry Potter one. But
It's the wizarding school thing.
yes, the wizarding one.
That sounds cool. You got a podcast too.
I do. It's called Spewtron, and it's available on all of that.
All the things.
Spotify, iTunes,
Yeah.
Podbean.
And there's some of our episodes are up, and we're working on getting the rest of them up as soon as we have time to,
Let's convert them.
convert them. We're a small mom and pop kind of shop here.
Yeah. Sometimes we get too busy for our own britches.
Yeah.
You also have your Twitch stream.
Yep, twitch.tv/SigNeutron. I
Yep.
do a lot of like sculpting, do some makeups on there. We have fun.
What about you? When are you gonna start Twitch streaming?
When I get free time.
Because he
Shit.
crafts things, like a lot of the cool clothes and stuff he makes. So I keep telling him he needs to get on there and just like craft for everybody to watch, just
And he
like,
runs his own LARP.
like Sig does.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
Well, I mean,
that's pretty
That's
time
pretty
consuming.
Yep,
you're not doing that every day,
I do it every month.
but yes, it does take a lot of prep. And that's coming up this weekend.
It is in Marina, California. So kind of like around the coast, kind of mid California area. There's an abandoned military base that we've rented out for a horror survival game.
Cool. What's the name of it?
It's called Dystopia Rising. So it's
Dystopia.
Dystopia Rising NorCal, or if you want to go to the website, dystopiarisingnocal.com.
And it's not a prediction of what's happening currently in the country.
No.
Also, go check out Roll20. They're a great resource. You can go see all kinds of campaign stuff you can do there. We also appreciate D&D Beyond, who does wonderful things like lets us track our characters and throw our spells and things. I think that's about all of our stuff, other than the fact we do have 2 giveaways coming today.
Yep.
We've got 2 books
2 books and the World Anvil.
and the World Amble
Or
giveaway.
wait, 2 books. A book,
Was it a book?
the Art and Arcana,
Art and Arcana?
and then we have minis.
Oh, minis. I thought we had 2 books. We have
Yeah.
minis and Art and Arcana. The minis are the... Which ones?
Not Nozel.
Nolzur's?
I didn't look at it. Yeah.
Okay, so
Nolzur's
Nolzur's
minis.
minis for you.
New ones.
The ones that just came out, they're pre-primed, so you don't have to prime them. You just paint them.
Yep.
Andy.
And then, so you got all kinds of stuff coming to you tonight. Minis and books and dice trays and world anvils. You should hang out. Make sure you enter into the raffle so you can win. But you have to be here to win. If you're not here when we call it, we'll go to the next person.
And the all of that can go anywhere in the world. The World Anvil, the minis, and the Art and Arcana can go anywhere. But that is going to mostly be here in the US of A unless you want to pay the shipping for it.
But those people who are in the running for this one, I'm pretty sure are all here in the US of A. Because there's only 4 people who currently you need to go vote for on Twitter.
Yeah.
Vote for the art so that you can help them win.
And that should basically end up getting us right to the break or right after it.
And if you want one without winning, you can always go check Wormwood. You can go buy some yourself.
Yeah.
That's all the announcements that I have.
Right now. All right.
Did I talk long enough for you to get ready?
Oh yeah, I was actually like, I was just like, oh, I'll busy myself with some things. So, may I have a little bit of mood music, please?
That's quiet mood music.
Is the mood that you're setting kind of quiet?
It's the chill of the grave, the silence of the crypt.
A silence in 3 parts.
That was all 3. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. So I'll just start since we're working on that over there.
We're being moody.
Yeah. Our intrepid adventurers. Actually, you're just city folk right now. Yeah. Oh, and obviously you'll notice that we're missing Satine right now because she's busy on a thing. She's on assignment. So our adventurers spent the last day or so recovering initially from a run-in at both a blacksmith shop and then at Millie's Diner, where they had takeout. And then ran the Lawsian and Grizz, went to do a dead drop.
Because it said dead in the name.
And he's a coroner, so of course. And Felix and Rose attended card games where Rose thought she heard her mom and rushed around outside the casino until she could run away into the little, we'll call it like the tiny whale room hut, where up in the VIP section of the Cocoon Saloon, where Hooks Molsba has returned to run his casino, restaurant, and bar, and confided in Felix that he is afraid for his life. Felix made a massive gamble that seemed to pay off and walked away with a large sum of coin and some other little things on the side that perhaps reinforce his kingpin moniker. Who he has, I won't say too much because he's yet to say that stuff to these two. And I'm interested to see where that goes. So, when we finished the last episode, you had Hooks and the captain, whom you had been in the game with, both proposition you with the different sides of the same coin. Hooks was trying to make his way out of the city, and the captain wanted to help Hooks out of Eberron. You two... Huh?
This plane.
This plane. We wanted to help him on to the next one. And then you two, Grizz and Lossian, made it more of a dead drop than it was before. The two of you not wanting to pay the toll, and Grizz taking another class in painting the town red.
Bard.
He is something.
Barbarian.
He's something,
He's a
that's for sure. Barbarian. That's good.
And then you actually had an interesting run-in with two dragon-marked... Technically, they were aberrant-marked. Those are still dragon marks. Two aberrant-marked hoodlums who combined were able to throw a fireball at you and left the two of you limping all the way back to the Old Dominion. So, as the early morning sun begins to illuminate the streets of Sharn, the carriage makes its way down the thoroughfare, heading toward the Old Dominion, where you and Rose make your way in, make your way home, and then you had a delightful conversation inside your room with DeVry. And Rose retired for the evening. Without a ride, the two of you hobble back towards the Old Dominion, making your way through quite a few extra streets and alleys as you continuously check to make sure that, one, no guards are following you, as one did seem to stumble upon your works, and that no other hoodlums are also following in your wake, as the two of you are desperately low on energy and definitely out of adrenaline for the rest of the evening. You make your way home. Lossian meditates, trancing slightly before getting up, going to work, coming back, and then Grizz passes out with Mr. Punchy on the bed. As you guys wake up to see that sun coming in through the windows of your apartments. A little bit of shine coming off of the cobblestone from the early morning dew. And the throttling of airships moving back and forth, starting the hustle and bustle of the daily workloads that Sharn is so famous for, being the massive metropolis in the City of Towers. So, as you wake up, Felix, what is your first inclination?
I'm kind of curious about where I'm waking up, because the last thing I believe Felix remembered was weird veiny blackness kind of starting to cover all over his skin, and then he kind of passes out, or at least everything goes black.
That's true.
So what happened then?
Perhaps that's a question for another entity. But you wake up in your room, on the floor, tangled in your sheets.
Great.
And as your eyes open, the sun is casting across that orange and black swirl against your wall behind your headboard that lashes out towards all of your shelves, cabinets, work, etc. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna call out to DeVry. Are you there, DeVry?
What's going on?
What the hell was that?
What was what?
The thing that crept over my body.
Oh, that was the deal we made.
That didn't seem like a deal. That was a little bit different than what I was getting used to.
It was you're hosting. It's our guest.
What the hell is that thing?
It's called the Symbiont.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it like me, only far less handsome.
And rational.
It's rational. It can rationalize. You could probably talk to it. Wait, didn't you say that it talked to you already?
It whispered to me, but that was before I agreed to whatever is happening now.
Uh-huh. Hold on one second. Let me put on some pants.
Is he just like...
A couple of minutes later, he crawls his way out of your dragon mark and the bracer and like sits on your bed in his little gen form. Mm-hmm. And you have a little Efreet sitting on the edge of your bed, looking down at you. Okay, so what's the problem? You didn't feel emboldened? You didn't feel invigorated, stronger,
No, I
faster,
I don't remember
harder?
anything.
Yeah, the first time it's pretty I'm sure that it's pretty aggressive. But it doesn't I don't remember leaving the apartment.
Neither do I, but I don't remember anything.
You were drinking.
Yeah, I got that. Oh god, I've got a headache.
Look, I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal. Like
I have something living in my body that it can drive.
Drive what?
Me.
Oh, well, you can. It's really good at self-preservation, which is good. That's good for you. You learn how to harness that. Convince it maybe that things are in its best interest. And it sounds to me like that's a winning combination. I mean, we got like, between the three of us, like we got our own triad.
Does it even have a name?
I don't recall asking it.
We're gonna have this conversation later. We're gonna talk about this more. I am not pleased with this side of this bargain.
Do you want to like try and talk to him?
Not right now.
Okay.
I have a lot of things to do, and I have a bird to stop dying. Or maybe, I have choices.
Yeah, sometimes those are questionable on your slate. You might want to talk to the others, and then I'm happy to give you advice if you want it. Obviously, I kind of need you around for you to fulfill your end of our agreements. So
Sure. I'm gonna get up off of the floor since he was looking down at me, like perched on the bed while I was like lying down and grumbling.
Mhm.
Get changed, and then head out and start trying to knock on doors and see if I can wake up anyone.
Okay. Do you need me to get you anything?
No, I think you've done plenty right now.
Yeah. All right. And then you just back into your dragon mark before you make your way out the door. And Grizz, you and Mr. Punchy wake up in each other's arms.
Have our morning talk.
What is that like?
Uh-oh.
Mr. Punchy. Boy, what a story. I don't think that I know how many people I have killed in the last few days. Part of me thinks that maybe I shouldn't have lost that collar. But I don't know.
Mr. Punchy,
That's what it looks like.
as always, is a great listener. Lossian, you've finished work, you've come back, maybe tranced a little bit more.
I'm going to go upstairs to Felix's door.
And as you go to knock, he
Mage hand.
opens it up. As your mage hand goes to knock, he opens it up.
Lotion.
Yes.
Oh, you look.
Felix. Hi, Felix.
Is he bruised up and kind of battered?
I would say so. I would say that he looks more singed in different ways than necessarily beaten.
You
Yeah.
look more cooked than usual.
Yes, that happens.
Did anything happen with the... You know what?
Where's Rose? How did the poker game go?
Let's talk about all of
The
these
card game.
things when we have everyone together.
Oh, okay.
Let's go wake up Grizz.
So you go collect Grizz, and then you attempt to find Rose,
The Rose room.
but her apartment does not appear to be inhabited.
No toast? No roses?
Should we be concerned that she's not around? All right.
Where did you leave her?
I brought her home.
I do kind of miss that toast. That was pretty good.
She did go before. I remember her taking some time off. I forgot where she went.
Sure, we'll find her.
You guys do recall that you actually intended to rendezvous at the Old Dominion, so...
All right.
Grizz, on the other hand, when you see him, he does look rather bruised. And also, like, parts of his beard and the scruff around the back of his neck and his clothing is singed. Lossian probably had another set. Grizz probably didn't think about the idea that he could change clothes.
Thanks. Yeah.
But any bows that were still in there from before definitely burnt into tiny little wraparound.
Are you just allergic to cleanliness?
Maybe.
Okay,
You said you wanted to talk this later. Hi, Case.
Yeah, let's.
Hello.
Grizz's place is a mess. Mine's had Grizz in it and damaged things. Can we use your place for this?
No,
What?
no.
Fine, we'll go to Grizz's then. If
Just go to the Old Dominion.
No, the
I mean, we could. It's just a long walk.
Hey.
Oh.
I'll follow you, we're doing
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Great. Okay.
Have a chair.
You know it's like the most secure location that you guys have, so
That's fair. All right. So,
you make your way to the Old Dominion, you settle up, unlock everything, get in, close it back up, check the premises for to see how last night went without you there. And once you get your favorite, move to your favorite spot, your favorite table, take the chairs down and sit around.
great. Okay. So, how things went?
The delivery
I'm a-
went just fine.
Really?
Hmm?
You look
Yeah.
like you two did not do fine.
No, the delivery went fine.
So
So
what
that
happened?
part of the night went real fine.
After delivery, that was when the problem started.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
About a score of people tried to mug us.
I think we killed a lot of people. Like a lot of people.
That one man made me angry.
This one scares me.
Did you... So, you killed a lot of people, and
Defended ourselves.
did you make sure that there was no way of this coming back on you later?
Well, I think that's really hard to make sure of, but yeah, maybe.
Yes. The only one witness that was left, I don't think wants to meet us again.
Yeah.
You left a witness?
They ran away.
Um,
It's kind of hard to leave them if they've already left.
we... Well, we should probably work out how to find them at some point in time. Did they say they were a member of a gang or anything like that?
No, they mostly said ow a lot.
All right. But the pickup was successful. We all got more money.
Mhm.
Great.
So what happened in the card game?
So I
Do you
went.
still have money?
Yes. So I went. Things got a little high stakes. Rose and I met Lady Hart.
Ooh.
She's lovely, if a little dismissive. We also met a few other people. There was someone who looked a lot like Larry there.
Is that Larry's brother?
Seems that way. So
I remember hearing about Larry's brother.
Yeah. I think we figured it out.
yeah. So I believe his name was Corson.
Oh.
Sounds about right.
Ringing any bells?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Corson was there. There was a kind of somewhat military gentleman called Haywood. He's going to be a problem later, I think. And there was Lady Hart at the table. Plus, a friend of ours that we all know who smokes a large pipe. The elf.
Oh, Nutella?
Nuthella.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Sure.
What was she doing there?
She was the person who tipped me off about the game. So we went, we dealt with it, we started playing. I got a little bit of information, but I feel the most important thing to take away is 2 points. One, I now own a villa in Andea and an airship. And I'm, for now, still keeping the...
Why are you
Old
buying
Dominion.
those?
I didn't buy them, I won them.
Oh.
As well as a lot of gold.
How much is a lot?
Way more than we were paid for this job.
Oh, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
I guess you can start giving people raises here.
If they show up on time, sure.
He's here. He's early.
Yeah, I feel like
I am here.
the potential for your raises are going to go into just continually having to buy you new clothing and uniform.
Fair enough.
All right. So there's that, and then there is the trouble that with with the syndicate.
Yes,
we
the
seem to
Almonte
be,
Syndicate.
yeah, finding ourselves kind of opposed to. I'm pretty sure. Rudy, I can't read my own handwriting. Was it Cruel Blade?
So Haywood,
Haywood.
it was Captain Haywood, the Cruel Breeze.
Cruel Breeze. Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. So Captain Haywood, pretty sure is working with, or is a ranking member in, considering he's very rich, and bet an airship for fun. He didn't seem at all particularly perturbed that he lost.
Sounds like a noble.
Yes. But even then, a pretty expensive one. So
Some nobles have a lot.
they do. It's true. So as I was saying, he and Hooks are not friends. Hooks would like to escape the town, and Haywood would like him to not make it. Both of these groups are willing to compensate us. Hooks has
I like Hooks.
information on all of the details of why our friend Latch was killed.
I would like to know that.
As well as other secrets. Basically blowing the whole story kind of open so we can understand what's going on there. Or we could sell our souls to the Syndicate, who I'm not as eager for that. They're very powerful, and I feel like we're going to be put on their map, as it were, of enemies if we make this decision, but...
If they
But
know
that
who we
will
are.
also make us loyal friends,
Correct.
too.
Well, they're aware that I had to bet the Old Dominion and other things to actually win.
So they know who you are.
Well, they're aware that an alias of mine owns the bar.
But the records that are on file have your name on it.
Correct. But they didn't really
But if they look
ask if I can very easily kind of pass things off a little bit and infer that my other alias is just a backer for the bar and things like that. Or I can just sell the bar to my alias, to be honest. And then maybe fake his death. It wouldn't have been the first time that I've done something like that.
Interesting. Good to know.
So we're gonna help Hooks?
That's my thought. Hooks has an airship that he would like to try and sneak out in. I'm a little worried about who might have told him that, so we could potentially try and work out the best ways of hiding him.
He has an airship?
Apparently, everyone important has one. It's why I have one now.
That's because you're the kingpin.
Allegedly.
I think that's pretty much not alleged anymore.
I don't have a criminal organization yet.
I think you do.
Yeah, I think you do, kind of. I mean, I don't know. We're like killing people and things. Like,
I
it's a
didn't
thing
ask you
that's
to kill
happening.
anyone.
And they're cutting
Yeah, but it happened.
deals and smuggling things, and you own a bar that covers
What have we
things
been
up.
smuggling? I mean, I guess we have been smuggling.
Wow.
Wow.
To put it that way.
This is-
Hiding bodies.
Getting this
Yeah.
bar has turned into a really slippery slope. Huh.
Stealing,
All right.
Stealing things.
So we need to...
Setting fire to things.
There was lots of arson.
Repeatedly?
So much arson. So much arson.
Well, if they weren't such bad people.
We wouldn't have set fire to their buildings?
Yes.
Yeah, well, now, where do we want to go from here? That is the question.
Well, if
We need to take you to go get those ribs looked at, because I'm pretty sure I heard some of those cracking and grinding.
Yeah, well, I felt that. Yeah, so that was a thing.
And those will take a little bit more effort than I can do. So we probably need to take you to go see Zelwyn.
That sounds like a good idea. Do you ever... Do any of you wear armor?
I can. It's just heavy and expensive.
All right. Make a note of what type of armor you'd like to look for. How about you,
Oh.
Grizz? I feel like anything I try to acquire for you has got to be non-staining in some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should figure out how to take care of that. If you wear more leather, blood comes off a little bit easier.
Or it just stains.
It just blends in.
All right.
If you stain it really dark,
If you're going to take Grizz to go get healed up, I'm going to do a little bit of shopping and come back. Do you need anything else? Do you need any weapons or armor or things like that?
You hear a knock.
It never ends. I'm going to mage hand the door open, if I may.
There's nobody there. You hear another knock. It seems to be coming from the back.
Oh, different door?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm going to close that door and then...
I'll make him lock the door he closed.
You're the laziest people in the world.
You gave us mage hand.
I didn't do it.
No, I mean...
I don't have a mage hand.
You feel left out?
Yeah, I do.
Aw.
You should.
Yeah. Where's the other knock coming from?
It's
Sounds
in the
like it's from
back.
back.
Let's go to the back.
So you guys make your way into the back. And is everybody going or just... Okay.
I'm in the back of the group.
So as you guys make your way to the back, Felix comes up to the door.
Well, no, I'm having Grizz open it.
Okay, sure. I'll open the door.
He's the doorman.
Yeah.
Grizz...
my job.
Okay, so then as you guys make your way to the back, you all stand there and stare at the door for a little bit. And eventually, Felix motions to the door, looking directly at Grizz. And he shrugs and opens the door.
Yeah, mage hand doesn't work anymore?
I'm trying to give him a job.
And as he does, standing just outside for but a split second before pushing her way in is Scarlet Smoke in full regalia.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought.
You can call me Scarlet.
Hi, Scarlet.
That's better.
Let's head inside.
She waits for you to lead her in a little bit. And then once you guys kind of make your way to the entrance, like the area where you would start to head back out into the main main tap room, she goes, "Okay, I think we're okay here. So last night,
Yeah. That was an experience, wasn't it?
indeed.
Did you catch on to my my hint about a Jericho being myself?
She leans back against the wall and she goes, "Yeah, you have certain tells that make it pretty easy for me to pick you out. But maybe I'm just a little bit more thoughtful, focused. I don't know.
Well, I was trying to drop hints, so.
Let's hope that they didn't figure it out." What did Hoop say after we left?
First, I'm real curious about your involvement with Haywood. Was he the whale you were talking about, or?
Mhm. We were measuring him, seeing what's going on.
Mm.
We had some decent information before you got there, but he seemed particularly interested in you.
Yeah. Either I'm just his type, or he's Yeah, I'm not really sure why he was so interested in me, though. I think primarily it's some of the involvement of the Old Dominion, especially.
What about it?
Well, so before we get into this, whom do you represent in all of this? You said we. That infers you are part of a group that has special interests going on.
Hold on one second. She turns around, walks back to the back door. You hear footsteps. Seems like 3, maybe 4 people coming back down the hallway. You can hear a click and a clack of talons on the floor. Following close behind Scarlet is an avian gentleman whom you recognize as Cawson, except for the fact that it looks like he has a mask that matches his tuxedo.
Okay.
A whip hangs from his side, but his feet and hands seem rather bare. Behind that, what appears to be dressed as some sort of mad scientist stalks his way in, kind of hobbling a little bit. And you see kind of like a
human or something else?
You're not sure.
Okay.
They all seem to have some form of mask on. But he does seem to have what looks like a utility belt with like small rods, wands, some pouches, like a variety of things that he's carrying. And his hair is poofed out, frazzled behind the mask that he's got on. And after that, you can kind of see the very wide frame of a white and blue striped shirt. And a big, almost bowl. Actually, he's got like a bandana pulled back into a circle, blue. And as the group fans out, you recognize Thunderspark. And he recognizes you. Othello points. This is Roost, motioning to Cawson. This is Thunderspark, my sidekick of sorts. And he changes his name about every other week. And you hear, "It's Amputator!" She goes, it's not much better. Last week it was the Scalpel. We're workshopping it for him. And we have another one that goes by Glamwisp. He's a bit more of a free spirit, kind of shows up just whenever, sometimes. So, this is just our loose collective. We're typically minding the middle duras, keeping the more organized crime families from being able to get too much of a foothold. However, there's been a recent Dream Lily epidemic, and we've been watching you. Glamwisp has been in contact with your friend Rose. And has been trying to keep an eye on whether or not you all are of the caliber that we think could potentially help. there's... The Middle Dur is enough work for us. We could use some loose affiliations down here with similar goals of keeping the peace, at least. Usually, the Boromar clan can keep people in a pretty good space, but the Amante Syndicate seems to be gaining a lot of ground, and we're not quite sure what their connection is into the Middle Duras and the Lordships yet. We hoped Hooks might be able to help us out with some information, but he seems to be rather tight-beaked right now, considering.
So, the Boromir clan, they're not one of the criminal organizations that you police?
When necessary, you hear the... And she looks over at Roost and gives a little nod and resumes her familiar pose against the door frame, kicking a foot up. She starts to go through her things to grab her mithril pipe. Clausen steps up. The Boromar clan can be reasoned with, usually. If it's in their best interest, we can make it about their best interest.
Sure, they're businessmen, ultimately.
Ultimately. So they typically can be very helpful. However, sometimes we have to keep them in line when they reach a little high. That's funny. They're halflings. I thought you said he had a... He talks back to Scarlet. I thought you said he had a sense of humor. Okay, fine.
I mean, you don't need to be so short about it.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. This guy over here, he's got no poker face.
No.
Speaking of faces, I'm glad that I did not melt that other one's face off, because that was something that I may have done.
Melt what other one's face off?
The thunder screen, that one.
She goes,
Thunder screen.
it's Thunder Spark?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I said.
Hey, do you want to go? I can go. And Roos
we
just
gonna
kind of
do
holds it.
this
He goes, no. Okay, stop. Both of you, just stop. Okay? Okay?
You're gonna hurt yourself.
I'm seeing a lot of parallels here.
He's eager to prove himself.
Oh, he's looking at me.
Because I know about you. You apparently know my brother.
Yeah.
How'd that happen? You want to screw up army buddies? Yeah. The beak always knows.
Literally no poker face.
Nope. Maybe we should get him some sort of mask that covers his mouth.
I'll try, Dad.
Just bites through it.
Work out that well.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, Scarlet here tells me that you've been working on disguises for yourself
Sure.
and some alter egos so that you can operate, and you did most of this on your own accord?
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Okay. I can see this. Why are you limping so much? And you see the amputators. You see the amputator's eyes get real wide, and he goes, "What?
It's hurt.
Ha!" And he just comes over and he takes out like 4 wands, holding them in between different fingers, and he just starts poking you with different things. And he goes, "Sit down!" And he just pushes you back into a chair. And then like starts poking and then holding his ear to like one of the wands that he's holding up against you. Breathe!
Should I be okay with
He
this right
slaps
now?
you in the stomach to get you to breathe. That's better. Okay. Again. And he just starts going through listening to your breathing rhythms and Then he like, while he's doing that, you see him like shove a finger up into your carotid artery so he can, okay, try and catch this. And he just tosses up one of the rods and stands back and watches. Are you gonna try? Okay,
No.
it falls to the ground. He's like, okay, no. I need you to try, okay? Try and catch this. It's good for you. Does anybody have any like jerky or anything like that? Can we give this animal something to like, come on, man. I'm trying to help. Tosses it up in the air. Actually, you have to make me a Constitution saving throw first.
Oh, damn. Ready?
Got it.
That would be a 10.
A 10. So you reach out for it and you, and he goes, It clatters on the ground.
Mage hand.
Yeah.
What'd you mage hand?
Pick up the wand.
Okay, let me do the thing here. Let me ask you something. You had any scrapes lately?
Maybe.
Do you have trouble breathing afterwards? Maybe walking? Maybe fighting towards the end of it?
Maybe.
I think you have like 4 broken ribs, and I think one of them's going into one of your lungs.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it may not be going through it, but it might just be like poking right up against it. I can probably take care of that for you.
At what cost?
I mean, you know what? Actually, I think that it would be better if I taught somebody how to do it for you.
I can learn.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And he goes, and he pulls out a different rod. He like looks around and he slaps it on his, and he turns into this really gorgeous guy.
Hi, Zelda.
Hey.
Is this your future?
No.
I was just meaning the accoutrement of wands and eccentricities.
Mm-hmm.
I take some small offense to that.
You wouldn't describe yourself as eccentric?
No. I would say that most of you are just boring.
Oh.
But Wassian here has been an able assistant, and I could see him actually being able to comprehend the things that I can teach. If that's something that you're interested in, fantastic. And he slaps it and like short circuits the and zaps back down. He's like, oh, whoops. Anywho, let's do the thing.
Oh, okay.
And he like pushes Grizz again. The chair tips back. Grizz lands on his back. And he goes, I'm gonna put you out for this, okay? Boop. And pops another rod, hitting you in that, and you just sleep.
Oh, I want one of those.
That was expensive. Yeah. So, and he starts to it starts to kind of teach you how to go about using wizard magic, evocation magic, to reconstruct the breaks in the bones. Kind of going over some of the situational things that a cleric might do, only with a much more scientific approach to it, and essentially using the magic as a welding device. While that's happening, it starts to smell a little bit like burning flesh and whatnot. And you can see the big, broad Thunderspark. I still don't. And he's like, leans over, heads towards the bar. The rest of them are like, yeah. So everybody heads over to the bar to be away from that.
I'll slide around on the other side and make a few drinks for people.
Okay. As you put the drinks out in front of him, Carlson's like, it's a little early. Write that down.
Apparently, I got it. I got accused of being boring.
Write that down. And you see Thunderspark like pull out a pen and start to just slowly write down the. That'll keep him busy for a little bit.
Sure.
So you had a conversation with Hooks, right? And
Hooks wants out.
uh-huh.
He wants to get out of here.
And is willing to trade information?
Yes, he is.
I see. I like it.
Is there a name for your group?
No.
No.
Probably easier. People don't know we're affiliated.
Sure.
Speaking of which, you won our villa.
I'm assuming you want that back?
No.
No?
It's assuming things go in an appropriate direction, we can share it.
All right.
Because it's got some interesting stuff, and it will work out as a safe house for Hooks.
Doesn't so here's my concern here.
Uh-huh.
If Haywood wants us to off Hooks and Hooks wants to escape.
Oh, Captain Cruel.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. If he
So-
he wants to whom?
Isn't there the kind of logical decision there that since I'm the one that Haywood wanted to off Hooks, wouldn't he look to potentially newly acquired property as somewhere where I might hide Hooks?
It's possible, assuming he knew where it was.
True. I don't know how famous your villa as Corson might be.
Well, let me show you something. Even if he did get his hands on the key, let me see it. So you reach into your pocket, you feel out for the keys. You've got the one for the Old Dominion. You pull out, but you find a shard in there as well. 2 keys and a shard. Old Dominion, Villa. You can see Scarlet kind of eyeing it for a second, and she goes, "Oh!" And she runs over, grabs the shard, slams it on the ground, and smashes it. Oh, no. So, now we know why he wanted you drunk.
That ghost slipped on me?
Here's what my guess is.
Sending stone?
In a way, it's more of a scrying device. And my guess is that it was made into an illusion of the key. He wanted you to win.
Right.
He was sizing you up.
Sure.
And I'll bet he was listening to all of that.
Well, that's going to be a pain in the ass.
Grizz, you feel your ribs snap back into place. What were you dreaming about before that happened?
Maybe it was a little bit of a nightmare. Hearing people call me an animal.
I got it. So you, I got a good solid thing here. You seem to wake up. Darkness above you, littered with the stars that mark some of the constellations. You can see Sybaris's belt moving across the sky. Trees everywhere, laden with snow. The ground covered in a couple of feet worth of powder and mush. As you make your way through the snow, leading a comrade of yours to the left and a snot-nosed brat in a wedge formation through the tundra. And all you hear is the, "Yeah, what are you, some animal?" The kid's words just echoing the whole time, acting as if he's some high and mighty noble who's better than you. and you just hear yourself grinding your teeth until you hear it snap, snap, snap. And then your eyes shoot open, staring at the ceiling of the Old Dominion, and your ribs now seem to be back in place. You take a deep breath, and you look up to see Lossian and some masked, mad scientist-looking gentleman staring down at you.
Well, that was a thing.
Does that hurt?
Not anymore, actually.
Looks like I did it right.
All right. Let's go find out what they were talking about.
Oh, okay.
As you walk back over, Scarlet is just like, okay, no, okay, what? No. At least we didn't say when. And we didn't say how. Well, we kind of did. We need to move. We need to do this fast.
Great.
He knows now. Oh, yeah, you're joining us. So the key for the airship that Felix was talking about, that he won last night,
It was a dud.
it was not. Yeah, it was a scrying device. It was a dragon shard that was made into an illusion, and yeah. So I would assume that Captain Cruel has been listening.
Oh.
So he likely knows your real identities. He likely knows that you're planning to side with Hooks.
So, my impression here is twofold. One, we need to try and save Hoops. And two, we need to get rid of Haywood now.
Yeah, I mean, unless you planted a scrying device on him, which seems hard to believe, considering. I don't know what you're gonna be able to do. Except wait for him to come to you.
Sure, I guess. I'm assuming...
You don't have any other scrying devices. Can you, like, empty your pockets?
Why do I feel like I'm going to find something? Sure, I'm going to look through my effects.
Okay.
Just
You don't find anything else out of the ordinary besides the coins that you won. Like everything else seems to be in order.
Yeah.
You do hold back up that coin or the villa key, and Cawson's like, "Oh yeah." Takes it between his feathers and goes, "So, it's not a false key, see, but it is a." And he taps the bottom of it, and it shifts to where the teeth of the keys, instead of being like this, change a little bit. And he goes, that one, you see, is a multi-opening door key. So there are a couple of different doors that could open, one of which is below in your basement.
Down here?
Uh-huh. You see, we procured the villa and this establishment when Latch turned coat. He was helping us lure the captain out and find out who it is that's helping supply him. But you know what happened to him, right?
Yeah,
His face got crushed, dude.
advertising accident.
Marketing misplay.
It was a sign of the future.
It was a sign from above. Haha. Okay, so. Glad we were wearing our masks. He kind of looks back at the other ones and they're like, yeah. So, you should, we should go check that out then.
Sure. I mean, I said your name as well, remember?
Crap. Well, when it rains, it pours. I guess we're gonna have to
You have a way to wipe his memory? Besides just removing his brain?
I don't know. Maybe Zelwyn does. I'm not calling you that. No, I'm not calling you that. No.
The debrainiator?
That'd be Trepanator. Trepanation? That's when you poke a hole into someone's head and you take the brain. Never mind.
So let's go
I
check
hate
that out.
I hate that there's a word for that.
There's a lot of words for
All right,
things that
so
we don't
what's-
like.
What's this underground building?
So he leads you down to the little storeroom where you had left Grizz before. And in that storeroom, there was a gap of brick that had been missing. He takes the key, taps the bottom of it 3 times, inserts his hand into the darkness, and you hear a click. And as it comes out, a second click, and then the wall depresses and slides across. Your underground lair.
Okay.
But we'll only go into the antechamber right now because that's probably what we have time to explore for the moment, and that's where you'll be able to grab quick things you might need for this.
Great. All right.
So let's go. You guys walk down a flight of stairs. It circles down under into another chamber. And the first area is a little cavernous. And you can see that inside there are like little alcoves with some mannequins that are all just unadorned. Except for a couple of them are wearing some armor. Nothing too fancy. And they all have some form of like mask, but nothing that stands out. And then there is essentially like if you were thinking about like a street gang who just, Thunderspark there. Looks like this might be like all that they've let him dress in to this point. Like he doesn't get the cool kind of gear that they have because he's not quite elevated to that level. He's still in sidekick gear. So he's still got, standard armor. He does not appear to have any weapons or anything like that. But Carlson gestures in his area. He's like, so this is a good place, to have some outfits if you want to have it ready for quick change and getting back out. And there's, of course, a little weapon rack, which is a little bare because we didn't get to start creating this space until after Latch turned, and he didn't last long after. I'm actually quite surprised that you've held the Old Dominion for, what has it been, 2 weeks?
Yeah. Well, we only opened it like 3 days ago. If that.
And I'm guessing that Latch probably didn't actually leave it to you, considering he probably never actually saw the deed.
Correct.
Ha. Okay. Well,
we couldn't let it fall into the Syndicate's hands, at least.
Quite the altruist, aren't you?
Yes.
Aha. Okay, so there's some light armors, mediums, maybe like a little thicker stuff, but anything else over that, you're not really going to find much.
That's fine. We can grab it.
Am I boring you? Is this not all very exciting?
I think I need some coffee.
It's
been a long morning. All right, so we can grab a few effects here, and we should probably go move now, yeah?
Yes. We're not coming with you.
Great.
Number one, we're going to go try and find the captain.
All right.
While you try and get Hooks out. If anything happens, mail us a letter.
Where?
To the Old Dominion.
All
Just
right.
pick it up.
Oh, sure.
Okay, fine. Pulls out a sending stone and tosses it over. You can have one of the Rocky Talkies.
Works for me.
maybe there's enough time real fast for some training, because I think that guy over there needs a little bit of help with his technique. Thunderspark here was telling me about your aggression issues. Yeah?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I wear a tuxedo so that I don't lose myself in the moment. It helps me to remember that I need to keep this clean. My fine vestments are fine. And that if I don't get too angry, luck can stay on my side. I can be ready. Haha. Know what I mean?
I think I know what you mean.
Let's see. He pulls you and Thunderspark back out into that room. All right. Have at it.
I don't know where this went last time. What?
If you break anything, you're paying for it.
You're basically in the basement room where there's nothing.
Like a fight room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for like the bed pallet-esque thing that he woke up in that nobody ever cleaned up.
So I guess I'm on my eye.
You see Thunderspark step over. He goes, Thunderspark, if you beat him, you don't have to be a sidekick anymore. Thunderspark turns back. His eyes start to glow, and he's like,
Literally or physically?
they glow.
Yeah?
Yeah. They start to glow blue, and you start to smell the crackle of ozone, or you start to smell what the crackle of ozone smells like.
Okay.
And
Well, I guess we're doing this again.
he runs at you. His hand's starting to crackle with electricity. It's starting to peel back, and he reaches out to swing at you. And the rest of you go back upstairs. As Cawson teaches you, why don't you go ahead and roll me a couple of attacks here? We'll do the same thing we kind of did for the last one, and let's see how beat up you get from this.
Am I just the D20? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're giving me attack rolls, so.
Okay. How many?
Let's say that this is a 3-round bout.
Okay.
So, roll the 3 for me, and we'll see where you go from there. So the rest of you go back upstairs, and remaining behind with Grizz and Thunderspark is Cawson, Roost, and Scarlet's standing upstairs with you, and she's just kind of, So I guess we need to figure it out with, you should probably take Hook's wearing your outfits. Do you have decent things?
Oh, in terms of costume, yes, we've got some things to keep our identities hidden.
Okay. Because you haven't met whatever crew is going to be there, right?
No.
And what did Hooks tell you about the scenario?
He said that he wanted me to pick him up at the Cocoon Saloon in the evening.
Okay.
He was hiding in his safe room till then.
Okay.
And he would then lead us to where he wanted to escape with.
Okay.
It seems like he's got a plan. He just wants protection because he doesn't feel like he can trust anyone else.
Okay. You probably, at least one of you is going to have to clue him in if he doesn't already understand when you show up with masks on.
Sure.
But, okay. Okay.
I mean, we're probably not going to pick him up wearing masks. It would be more of an idea that we... I mean, unless you'd suggest that. I feel like showing up at a casino wearing masks might raise some questions about if we're trying to rob the place or not.
Yeah, it might.
We show up unassuming, we pick him up, and then we leave out the back and try to get on the road.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Back down in the basement. What was your first roll?
9.
A 9. So you narrowly eke out a first solid hit, drawing first blood. Thunderspark spits. Blood crackling on the ground a little bit as it fizzes away from him. You two separate a little bit. Roos gives you a couple of pointers on how to... That was good. Okay. You see? But you're going to need to keep your cool. Keep your cool a little better. If you're not going to get thrown as bad as you did there. You just barely eke that one out. Okay? All right, let's go again. You guys go at it again. 7. So this time you try and focus in on what he's saying. You try and maintain not letting your rage get the best of you. And as you do, you kind of struggle back and forth a little bit, except for there's a moment where you would normally give in to it and just brute strength go. But the moment that happens, Thunderspark is able to turn and basically crater you into the ground. And then as you hit, he releases a jolt of electricity through you with his natural 20.
Oh,
It's your 7.
Yeah.
Moments later, you see Roos squatting over you, his beak scratching the top of his beak. No, see, not like that at all. Try breathing a little more on this one, okay? And I would avoid the indention in the ground here. You might lose your footing. You have a large backside that you just... you guys might want to have that repaved later. Good. All right, let's see it again. What'd you get on your third one?
A 9.
A 9? So this time, as you are going back and forth, you're able to kind of like calm it and find a little bit more peace, but Thunderspark grabs you, slams you up against the wall, and it just looks into your eyes. You can see the crackling coming off the side of it as his eyes are like throbbing. And you see him reach back and the fist starts to crackle, lightning coming up around it as he's holding you in there. And he just gets this big grin and you can hear Cawson back there. Breathe, Grizz! You get to roll a d4 now as you take in the moment, and the punch seems to slow down.
That's 4.
A 4. So I had rolled a 10. You got a 9. This really couldn't have been any better.
Yeah, right? I'm into where this is going.
As you learn to get your rage under control, you learn to breathe through it. You're able to watch as he doesn't seem to be swinging at you as fast as he was before. Your little bouts have been a little too slow for him to really be winded yet. But you're able to move just out of the way as his fist hits the wall. He goes, "Ah! Yeah!" And you take that moment to grab him and slam him into the wall. And he stumbles back and hits the ground. And then squatted over him, you see Roos go, I guess we're going to see you as a sidekick for a little bit longer. Do you think you got it that time, Grizz? Do you think you understand? If you don't go into murderous rage, you could actually have a little bit more luck on your side. Gives you a cool moment there instead of just taking the punches. Because I'll bet you that punch would have put you out.
It'll clog it.
He's not slow. Sometimes he's lightning fast. Yeah. All right. And then you hear from down below, Cawson. Doctor! And the mad scientist's eyes crock up. And he starts to run. And then he turns around and he's like, Austin, let's go!
Oh, okay.
He takes you down and has you treat both of them, giving you little pointers on that. And so, congratulations, you've both leveled. You're taking, from my understanding, the second level of wizard in as a reconstruction, school of reconstruction, okay? And you're picking up Barbarian 3. What's the
Path of the Courageous Heart. Right?
Path of the Courageous Heart? Both of those you selected from XLN, from Xanathar's Lost Notes. Cool. All right. So, with that, you get patched up, you rest up a little bit, you get some coffee, and they go with you to the Cocoon Saloon, where you see an airship that is quasi-perched up there on that top layer, up next to the, like where that balcony was, and a little gangplank leading down off the side of it. As you arrive, you see Hooks bring his head out the door of his little hut.
This little safe house?
His little safe house, yeah. And he, ooh, good, let's go. As night falls on that, you make the final preparations. He's got 2 bodyguards with him, along with you. And you can see there's a small crew on the deck. Ah!
Yeah. I'm just jumped up.
Yeah.
Man, already down a bodyguard.
So as you 3
Yay, our minis.
make your way up there, you see what looks like a small, well, you know, a thinner drow. Off to the side, you see a helmsman, you see a captain, and you see what looks like a cook and a cabin boy up playing the flute towards the front, sitting on a barrel just... And they busy themselves with their little workload while the cabin boy kind of gives them a little cadence. And as Hooks, which we are going to have represented as an owl bear because they don't make giant owls the way that I need them to. So that's going to be him.
Boy.
And his 2 bodyguards. And through you're going to have to use your imagination on the door here because Hooks is going to go through that even though he's a little too big. We're going to say that door is a double. But he and his bodyguards will make their way into the quarters below. And the captain will, oh no, come back. Yeah. Oh no, they're so tiny. There we go, come on. So as you guys make your way up onto the ship, everything seems to go smoothly. Yeah. Everything seems to go smoothly. You start to make your way through the initial part of the city towards the north, following the familiar flight patterns that you've seen before. You come out towards the Dagger River, and then you stay within the city line, heading up north along the river.
Okay.
And then, just as you are about to clear just as you break away and you are weaving through the final towers there, you notice that another ship breaks away. and seems to be intent on following you. It's a little smaller vessel, and this one appears to have 2 rings moving, whereas your ship and most airships have a standard 1-ring elemental driving them. This one seems to be outfitted for 2 and is moving very quickly to make up the ground, as it was far enough behind to escape your initial scanning. As it made its way through, as all of you made your way through the regular shipping lanes. And in the night, now you can see the glow of yours and the glow of theirs starting to pull off. As it starts to drag up beside you instead of staying in the lane, you can see up at the helm who you recognize to be Captain Hayward the Cruel Breeze. And it looks like his crew is less busying themselves with the work of operating the ship and more with the preparations for a party. A boarding party.
Yep.
As you soon discover that 2 or 3 seem to be swinging their way over. Yes?
Oh, I was just wondering if we have some time to potentially prepare ahead of time. Like, are there any weapons on the ship? Are there any ways that we can, like, basically methods to try and make sure that we're at least prepared for boarding, or have some, like, traps or something rigged up?
Most airships have a standard protocol.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily set traps because that would be just as dangerous for the people on the ship. I've never seen a Pirates of the Caribbean where they have like the booby traps all over the ship when they're getting boarded.
I wasn't meaning literally booby traps, but
You can do that to your own ship when you get one.
Yeah. But 3 pirate-looking gentlemen, their cloaks rippling in the night, a little glow off of the elemental rings, illuminating them just enough for you to spot them as they land on the deck. Boop, boop, boop.
so we're not able to take some pot shots and things like that ahead of time on people trying to board us? Or
On the
anything?
ones that are already in the midst of flying across? Nope. One lands on the deck. One lands there. By the time you noticed, they've already released and hit the deck. And that's where we're going to go to break. So this gives you guys a little bit of time left to go vote for the fan art giveaway. And we'll announce that when we come back from our little break. And also, if we haven't opened the raffle yet, can we? It's open? Good. So don't forget to go ahead and apply for the raffle. We have the World Anvil membership. We have the Art and Arcana book. And we have a stack of minis to send your way. So go ahead and type that little exclamation point raffle, if that is indeed what it still is. And we'll see how the 3 of you, like one bard, are able to fend off the oncoming Sky Pirates.
You have 11 minutes left for voting.
11 minutes. So we'll see you guys back here shortly. Bum, bum, bum. Welcome back to Inkwell Society, where during the break, we talk about why people eat mummies.
Magic.
Magic. I'm sure that can be used somewhere. I'll use that later in the campaign. So first, let's go ahead and announce our fan art winner, which anybody that's checking their Twitter can probably see, is Simon James with the Inkwell Pixel. And you can see him at Aquila009 on Twitter. He made the really awesome, I think this is 16-bit? I don't think it's 8-bit.
More like 16.
Yeah, it looks like 16-bit. But he made a really, really awesome, basically video game. But everybody else's stuff was so good. The Lossian one was amazing.
Everything was so good.
Grizz sewing up Mr. Punchy.
Oh, it's so cute.
Some of the stuff of Rose, the puppets, all of that stuff is so good. It made me so happy.
Supper puppets.
Supper puppets.
Accurate.
Very.
Common term.
Yeah, Felix actually turned us on to that. And let's go ahead and pull the raffle. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pull the raffle too. So I know sometimes some of you have to go to bed a little earlier because you're on the East Coast or you're watching from Europe. And we want to say thank you at least every now and then. And since this is like maybe our little finale for a little bit, we have to figure out whether or not we're moving studios just yet, or if we're going to have a couple more here.
Short break.
Yeah, we may have a little short break. So in the meantime, that's going to get popped out. If you win the raffle, go ahead and send a message to any of our mods, DC or Nicken, and they'll make sure to collect the information that we need to get you guys the awesome spread for this week. And where we left, right before the break, your excursion onto the airship in the effort to escort Hooks away, fly away, breaking off towards Ondair, heading north. You start to, as you break away from the typical shipping flight patterns, you notice a second ship follow you off. Nothing looks out of the ordinary until it pushes a second ring of elemental fire in order to catch up to you. And then as it is coming up on the flanks, before it, basically it comes out from right behind you and then pulls up to the side, and you can see 3 individuals swinging through the night. And as they land on the ship, you can hear your crew yelling back and forth about readying the battle, all the other situations that you yourselves, having never been crew, are just now acclimating to. So as the 3 land, you look over and you can see a myriad of other sky pirates across the way. Some of them readying ranged equipment. Some of them getting ready to launch themselves across the gap as well. You do notice that the ropes that the other ones seem to be swinging from don't appear to be attached to anything. Lossian, you can roll me an Arcana check.
No pressure.
We'll see. 24.
24? You believe that you've heard of this before. You believe that you've heard of this spell before.
Is that a rope trick?
It's a rope trick. Ding, 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 ding. And another ding, 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 ding. Darth Hater 79. Congratulations on the raffle.
Which one did Darth Hater win?
The raffle.
Both?
The
Wow.
package, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Old thing.
So we'll get in touch with you. Nicken will take care of that, getting your information, and if you're still in chat, and we'll get you squared away. So,
I'm getting some music vibes.
Yeah, we're starting to kick up a little bit of music here, a little louder.
What that spell?
Oh god, my immersion.
All right. So as the rope tricks dissipate, when the first wave of sky pirates land on the deck, you can see the captain stepping back, your captain, stepping back from the wheel. You can see the other sky pirates have landed. It's going to be pretty tough considering the minis. It is a character sheet. And as they are able to land, that takes the majority of their action in this first round. So you all will have the opportunity to act as you are, well, I'll say you have the opportunity to basically react in this first round. It wouldn't be a surprise round specifically, but the first wave has landed, and after you take your initial actions, we'll go ahead and move into the random initiative.
Do we get a few moments to
Start yelling out commands to each other?
Yes.
Start yelling out commands to each other.
Well, I know what I would do.
We need to try and target more of them as we swing across. Warshian, do you have any more of those fire? No?
So I look and I think I'm about to go attack them, but my recent things that I've learned, I take a step back, I take a breath, and then I look around and see if there's anything around me that I might use for a weapon.
All right. So as the rest of you are kind of like shirking off the long coats that are traditional of the sea and airfaring types, giving you a little bit more freedom of movement. I believe you're all wearing like chainmail or scale mail at this point.
Studded leather.
Studded leather.
And a chain shirt and my clothes.
Chain shirt.
I think we said scale.
Chain.
Chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So a new set of armor for each of you seems to kind of you just expose under your from your jacket, and you take a moment, look around, and see a belaying pen holding up holding together kind of like a couple of barrels wrapped in from as rope goes from one belaying pen to another one, keeping them in place.
I'm gonna snatch it up and I'm gonna put it in old Mr. Punchy.
Oh, okay. So you pull out Mr. Punchy,
Yeah.
grab the belaying pin, and you basically stuff the belaying pin into Mr. Punchy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what are you, like, swinging it around by the foot or something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's almost like a flail, like a chain.
Sure. You've got a Mr. Punchy nunchuck.
Mm-hmm. He's about to get pretty
Punch
Mr.
chuck.
Punchy.
Punch chuck?
Yeah.
Mr. Chucky. All right. So you reach back, you grab that, and why don't we just go ahead and say that you've got the first opportunity for an action here.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
So
You
I'm
see them
here.
land right on the opposite side of the railing.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Well, so I'm gonna rage,
Mm-hmm.
and also probably shift as well. But I can only. It's next turn. I have to do that. I'll rage first, and then can I use that as the bonus action?
Yeah, rage
By the
is
way.
your bonus action.
Okay, and then I'm gonna rush whoever's closest to me.
Okay.
Go for an attack.
All right. So you feel the adrenaline start to rush up, and then you kind of try and center yourself in it, and then you just take off across the ship,
Swing and miss a punchy.
swinging your red stuffed, now with a belaying pin toy. The
Well, it's not a toy anymore.
Sure. So you rush across. Which one are you going towards?
Let's say the guy on the left.
Okay. So you're gonna rush up to him, and are you gonna hit him or push him, or what are you trying to do?
Let's do going for attack.
Going for an attack?
Yeah.
All right, so you come swinging across. He lands, and when he looks up, he just sees you.
That would terrify me if I saw that.
The look on his face is exactly what you expect as you roll for the attack.
And I get to add a D4 to that as well.
You get to add a D4 to that, and we'll go ahead and say, since you have the belaying pin, that's roughly a club. So we'll call the damage for your improvised weapon here, which your barbarian ness allows you to have.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous, but as you do, you're able to use a D6 for your damage. So if you want to roll the D6 at the same time.
Sure.
Oh.
Natural 20.
Oh!
Plus and also a 6.
Max damage.
So.
Okay.
Oh.
So you still get, I think it's what, 5 points of additional damage from strength and your rage?
From the rage, it says +2 to damage.
For the +2, but you have 16 strength, so that gives you a +3.
Yeah.
So that's 5 for your attack. So you crit.
Yeah.
And you max your damage, and you're going to do enough damage to him. I'm pretty sure you're doing enough damage to him to take him out. So, yeah. Because you also get to reroll that D6 since you crit.
Okay.
Hold on.
A 2.
Okay. You did plenty. So, as you rush across with Mr. Punchy, you give him like this little uppercut with just the edge of it. Mr. Punchy kind of stretches because you're holding onto the ledge. So the seams kind of pull a little bit, but the head of the belaying pin of your cudgel basically catches him right under the jaw, and the moment he lands, it just boom starts to cave in his jaw, and he just stumbles back and falls over the railing, and you just hear some sort of like garbled scream coming down as the first round goes very well for you. Felix, did you have something to say?
I had a question. So there are railings along all of the edges of the ship.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Would those give us cover if we're using them as cover?
Probably not.
Okay, cool.
Not
I mean,
these,
more
but
like
there's
that.
other
it
things
goes
there.
both ways.
Kind of like
Yeah.
this front up here. It's like they're open or something.
Yeah, it's essentially going to be like that.
Cool. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Laucian, why don't you go ahead and go next?
I'm going to take a moment and say, in Elvish, Undying Court, bolster my life, and false life myself.
Okay, so you're going to gain...
Got a second level slot on that,
Okay,
and I'm going to get 13 more hit points.
13.
That
Okay.
lasts for an hour.
Lasts for an hour, and that's your action.
That would be an action, yes.
And one of your second level slots.
One of my second level slots.
All right, anything else?
Not at the moment.
You want to move anywhere, do anything?
Nope, I'm good at distance.
You're good at distance? Okay,
The less they can hit me and the farther I can shoot them, the happier I am.
all right. Then, Felix, you're up. You notice that Grizz has just Mr. Punchy'd someone off of the railing,
Murdered another person.
toppled over. There is a goblin directly in front of you, and it appears that there is another sky pirate up on the up at the bridge.
Okay. So I think I'm going to. I'd like Felix to run up the side of the stairs. So he'll kind of make his way up to where the.
These
Yeah.
you can use this as stairs.
I figured as much.
Yeah.
So it'd be like up to here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm on a good, even kind of playing field shot at this fella that's up there.
All right. And
Um,
what would you like to do?
I would like to grab some weird magic out of the air and throw an Eldritch Blast at him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your attack.
Great.
And as you start to rush up the stairs, you just kind of let your hands curl behind you and you start to drag the Eldritch magic. The black little bits of spot start to blend and make purple and green as you pull them together. And what's your attack roll?
I get a 13.
A 13 is going to be enough to hit.
Awesome. So I hit him for 15. No, is it 15? It was either 15 or 13.
What did you roll?
13. I rolled 10 on the dice.
10 on the dice. And you have agonizing blast is one of your cool. When you leveled, did you change any out? Did you?
My invocations are the same. I did swap out one of my spells. I got rid of. So I learned Shadow Blade, and I swapped out Charm Person for Misty Step.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which, by the way, how far away is the ship right now?
It's so. Unfortunately, I don't have elevated terrain for it, but it is about. I would say they're probably trying to hold fast at about 50 to 60 feet away, but they're also elevated a little bit, so you would need to be able to eclipse that.
Okay, so
or steer your ship.
Gotcha. Shooting between ships is going to be a little bit tricky because we're going to be a little further away on range, right?
Yeah, it's the range is less the issue as is the angle, because they're going to be. They essentially have taken the high ground.
Yeah.
But if you can restore the bridge, the captain can probably start to, or either the captain or the bosun, who is the Lirandar, will be able to maybe get the ship to go up.
So while that's going on, I'm assuming that the archers and things like that are on the kind of the back end, they have to more move to the front to actually see our ship, or?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But they are able to actually take that step back and get cover as well.
Awesome. So yeah, I hit that fella. Is he a human sky pirate?
This one, yes.
Yes. Okay, so I hit him for 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage. So you run up the side, dragging your arm in the...
Oh, 13. My mistake.
13. It's still enough.
Okay.
You run up the side, dragging your hand, pulling the Eldritch energy out of the ether. And then as soon as you land, you just poof, steady your hand, and a blast of Eldritch energy rips across. And he goes flying off the side as he crumbles.
Great.
2 down. That's good.
Look at the other guy who's still standing there. You can jump now if you want.
All right. And let's see how random initiative treats you. Wassian, as you tell him that he can jump, what do you do?
I'm going to use one of my newly learned cantrips.
Felix, you're on deck.
And I will chill touch him. So I summon a skeletal hand.
Okay. So you're like, you can jump now, and then you basically reach out with a skeletal-looking-esque mage hand that reaches out like it's going to grip him very creepily.
I got a 18 to hit.
An 18 is gonna hit.
Woo. And he takes 8 points of damage, and he can't get any healing until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so you see him kind of like take a couple of steps. The little goblin, as the hand reaches around and seems to create like this aura that is grasping. It's not impeding his movement, but it does seem to be impeding any, like kind of even the magical energies that seem to have been around him wobble and dissipate a little bit as he attempts to fling something. But Felix, you're up, and we got a bad guy on deck.
Okay. There's still a goblin over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask him politely to leave.
Politely.
Yeah.
Pew pew politely.
Yes.
Oh, we actually have a lot of that. Okay.
I miss.
What'd you get?
2.
A 2.
Dice roll. I miss.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go box in the air.
Yeah. So, as you reach out, do you want to do anything else? Do you have a bonus action, or?
I'm going to, after I've shot, I'm going to kind of scan around to see if I can find anything like overtly flammable, something that could be made into some kind of jerry-rigged bomb, or like, you know, like a barrel of tar pitch, something like that for, you know, weather sealing the ship and things like that. I don't know. But I'm looking around for something like that.
There definitely looks like there are a myriad of barrels. You would probably need to go inspect them or let somebody else know what you're trying to do. So in that, basically, we got a bunch of bad guys, and then you get to go last, Grizz. Yeah, I mean, you did just shove somebody off.
Yeah, I'm happy.
So you see walking around the main deck, you see the captain, who you recognize.
Oh, that's his level.
Yeah, I got a little fiery one. I can swap this out.
Is that Captain Cruel?
Oh, that one has fire on it too. Haha! But if that makes it a little easier for you guys to see. Are you guys... You need to see this too?
Yeah, that's helpful.
Okay.
Do we see any? So on the so this kind of pirate sloop kind of speedy little speeder thing.
Mm-hmm.
We see the captain on deck.
You see the captain on
Do
the
we
deck.
see any other people of note? Kind of anyone that looks like a bit different to the average kind of like scummy sky pirate?
The ones that are on the bridge with him
Gotcha.
appear that way. There also seems to be... Like, it's pretty easy for you to note the people with armor
Yes.
from the people that aren't.
Okay.
And then also to see the ones that are readying their crossbows, but also people that, especially you and Lausian, have a very easy time picking out as casters because they have wands or stabs, some sort of spell focus.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Would you mind pointing out, or Ed, you said about the people up on the upper deck.
Mm-hmm.
What is the kind of loose, quick description of the other two on deck there? If now is a good time for that.
Yeah, so we'll just say that for the moment, with the distance and the elevation, it's a little off, and you're a little preoccupied with where you are right now. But getting a full scene of the battle, you're able to see that there is a decent number. This looks like it, might be you should buckle in.
Sure.
And perhaps if you can get them to level off now that you've cleared the bridge, if you can keep the bridge level or keep the bridge clear for a little bit, you might be able to level out the elevation of the two. So you can see the captain walk over to the side. You can't quite make out what he's saying, but he seems to come to the edge and start pointing. And then he picks you out. And you can hear him just go, "Ahoy, Jericho!" And then he turns to the crew and he goes, "His head, platinum pieces." And then he's essentially giving some sort of a command of focus, it seems, to you. The next, you can see him take a step back, going back to helm the bridge, and what looks like an elf, a half elf, with a dragon mark, looks over and he points out, turns back around, nods, and flings some fire at you.
Do you have my updated armor class with the studded armor now?
I do.
Awesome.
And he does not hit you. There's definitely no way he's going to hit you with what I rolled. So the first bolt goes flying over. You duck out of the way as it just over the top. And you can see him kind of checks the windage. And then you can see this other one kind of look up, lean forward. And Lausian would be able to identify him praying. He seems to close his eyes, lean on his sword, and start to chant something. It looks like he's whispering or whatnot.
Can you tell from this distance his symbol to kind of get an idea what religion it is?
No, not from this distance. But you do notice that the hand that you cast, the chill touch, seems to ward off some form of magic around the goblin in front of you. Next up, a volley of arrows and bolts come flying across. 1, 2, 3.
Could you point out the archers first?
So what appears, from what you can see, is at least one who's in an elevated position, very near one of the elemental rings, and then there's an archer here, and there is another firebolt coming over the side. They are back a little bit, so it's almost like an artillery shot. And it dawns on you that that's probably who the captain was giving direction to. So a bunch of them come flying over you. However, they're going to have disadvantage on the shot because they're basically just aiming in a direction.
Yeah.
The first one, the best they got was 11 plus. It's going to be 14 is not enough. The next one is going to be still not enough. A firebolt comes across. I rolled 2 4s.
Are we getting any negatives or positive? Are we getting any negatives for longer range? Or
Not for the range.
Okay, cool.
But for the fact that they are essentially blind firing at you, it's a disadvantage. And I rolled a 20, but then I rolled a 7 on the disadvantage. So the area around you on the ship gets a couple of bolts stick into the wood, and another firebolt comes over, and you duck another one just quickly as you see that happen. And then you guys can see that there is another kind of like group here on the ledge, which appear to be unfurrowing another rope. And they go to launch it out into what looks like the ether and then yank on them. And they seem to be fairly well anchored, even though they're moving with the ship. And as they get ready, they take a couple steps back and they launch themselves out into the sky between, but they won't have enough movement to get to you just yet, so we're going to have them floating about, let's see. We'll say that they're about halfway. As the next wave comes across, and the goblin on the deck rushes towards Lossian. I'll lock you onto one here. And swings at you with a little scimitar. And he's going to get an 18 to hit. And he's going to get 8 damage.
Okay.
So that came out of your...
Temps.
Yeah. And Grizz, it is now your turn to act as you watch this little goblin rush across the battlefield and chip away Lossian at Lossian.
And the other ones are still mid-air-ish, so I can't really do anything about
About
that.
halfway.
Yeah, they're about halfway. If there's something else you want to do to it, like you can throw things if you want, but...
Yeah, well, I'm going to shift as my bonus.
Okay, so now you are shifted. You're going to get your extra hit points, your temporary hit points, which is, what, 3 more? Plus it's your level plus your con modifier, I think, right?
Yeah, so my con is +2, so, and I'm at level 3, so that'd be
5.
5.
Yep, so you have 5 temporary hit points as you shift.
Cool. I'm gonna look back and charge him with the old swinging Mr. Punchy. Going
Charge
after
the goblin?
goblin, yeah.
All right, so you spin around after tossing one off and make your way over to the goblin who's just swung at Grizz, or at Lossian, and you swing down with Mr. Punchy. Go ahead and give me a roll.
What did you say we added to Mr. Punchy?
You have a +5 to hit, and,
Okay, so that is
and it'd be a +5 damage.
Well, I rolled a 19 plus a 2
Okay,
plus a 5. I think that's good.
you definitely hit.
Max damage. 6.
You get another 6.
Yeah.
All right, so
Roll it.
this time you come across, and as the goblin swings at Lossian, takes a little like out of the air, a sliver out of the air at Lossian, and you just down with Mr. Punchy, who essentially flattens the goblin. The green energy of the hand starts to drift off of it.
And I laugh.
Should have done that sooner.
And we shuffle. I should have been shuffling while Grizz was acting there. So now the battlescape looks like Felix has got a little bit better elevated position. He's able to kind of see the ones that are swinging across right now. Lossian and Grizz, well, Grizz has his back turned. They're a little preoccupied, but they understand the heat of the moment. And The rest of the crew seems to be kind of like manning their positions. The cabin boy moves up to the front and kind of mans a lookout post. This one draws his rapier and waits, and you can see the drow come out of the cabin, and also the cook, who's got a frying pan and a bottle of wine or some sort. And your bosun, your helmsman there, comes forward and moves up a little bit and grabs onto a little trapdoor.
Gotcha.
And yells down to the people below.
Mm-hmm.
And the captain turns around and looks at you and goes, "Well, you're the security detail. What are we doing?"
So in this situation, is the captain the one who's actually at the helm, or is it the helmsman who's...
So the captain does actually steer for the most part. The helmsman
Right now?
is essentially like a bosun. A helmsman is essentially there to make sure that the elemental behaves.
Sure. Great. Elemental wrangler.
Go up.
Yep. So you're on deck as the ranged volley continues. So the captain turns around and asks you, "Do you have any specific orders?" Nine. First shot, bolt slams down into the floor next to you. Same thing with the next one. Yeah, and a 2 on that one. So this strategy of artillery fire is not working very well for them. But you're up, and Lossian, you're on deck.
So my invocations, for example, my disguise self that I can use at will,
Yep.
does that take an action to do so?
Yes.
Okay. So if I do that, I can't cast any other kind of spell this round.
Right. Well, you could. So because it's an invocation, it says that you can cast the spell at will. So it is still casting a spell. It does still count as a first level spell, or disguise self. Not all. Yeah. So it still counts as a spell, and you're casting it. So you can't cast anything else except for if you had a bonus action cantrip.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Okie dokie. Because I'm kind of thinking about maybe using disguise self to make myself look like someone else, so I don't get shot as much.
Like Hooks?
And that was a consideration, to be honest. All right, I'm going to. I'm gonna tell the captain to start.
What are you gonna say?
Evasive maneuvers.
Okay.
Try and get a little bit more distance from them. For now.
Okay.
And then I will also ask, do you have any barrels of flammable things, like oil or tar?
Yeah.
Point where? Anywhere?
Below?
Great. All right. Does that take an action? Asking those questions?
Asking the question? No.
No? Okay.
If they're short, truncated, back and forths, they can. If it's something that requires a long explanation, no.
Okay. I'm gonna start my way to the steps here. So kind of like skip across to about here, if I may.
Sure.
Spot the cook, and as I'm pulling an eldritch blast from the sky and trying to shoot it, does it look like I can discern if one of them is trying to land on the deck with the captain?
Of these right here.
Yeah.
Considering that they're moving at a direction, even if they're coming from the middle, they're probably going to land a little further back.
Sure.
So it's possible.
Sure.
Could also end up hitting the side.
Sure.
I'm going to give them.
A chance.
Yeah, I'm going to give them acrobatics checks to see
Right.
if they actually make it onto the ship.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, I mean, in that case, I might be a little bit of a jerk, and I'm gonna hex the guy on the far end,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna give him disadvantage on whatever attribute that involves rolling acrobatics.
Dexterity.
Yeah.
So then you use your bonus action to hex.
Yeah.
I'll knock out one of your spells for that, and then with your action, you're drawing the energy for an Eldritch Blast.
Yes.
And As you rush down the steps, pulling it out, you whisper a couple of words into the air, and you feel an unlucky air settle over that gentleman. And
Great.
who are you directing your blast at?
I'm gonna shoot my blast at the middle one.
All right, go ahead, roll me. Lawson, you're up next, and Grizz, you will be on deck.
So that's a 16.
A 16?
And it would be a total of 6 points of damage
Okay.
if I hit.
So as he's kind of like whipping his way across, you do manage to hit him. It spins him on the rope. He's rotating across. I will actually say that he's going to end up with disadvantage as well on this attack as you kind of unsettled his charge forward.
Mm-hmm.
So these two will have disadvantage. This one from your hex and this one from your blast.
Wonderful.
And Lawson, you're up, and Grizz, you're on deck.
I look at the one swinging through the air and go, sleep.
Oh god.
Okay. So you sleep the ones that are in the air?
As close to the edge of the other ship as possible, as long as they're still in the area of effect.
Okay.
It's a 20-foot radius. But
Sure.
I just make sure those three get in, and then closer to the ship to probably put some of the guys who are over there down for a second.
Okay. All right. So you whisper some arcane words for sleep.
33 hit points.
Okay. 33 hit points.
Okay.
This guy's been knocked down a bit. So boom, boom. So you do see a large, like one of the ones that's kind of like looking up over the side, looking down at you. You do see him start to just like crumble over as this guy falls asleep real fast. And then the remaining hit points is enough that all of them are swinging across and then just seem to let go of the ropes and plummet.
And then I move to the stairs to get some cover.
Which stairs? Like back here?
Yeah.
Okay. So like here?
Not up the stairs. Like
Yeah, I know. I can't put you down there because of it. But like,
Yeah, like there.
okay.
That's
It's fine, I just fell off the ship.
Sorry.
so. I thought that was easier.
Sure.
So are we climbing?
You feel like the ship is actually kind of like pulling away, but is climbing and it is ascending a little bit.
Because right now they can't hit the beams.
Grizz, you turn around kind of like, yeah, ready for them to come across. And then you just see them like, as they're starting to swim, they just kind of like, the momentum stops and they just drop.
Can they hear me on the other ship? Like if I
The wind is
just
whipping
shout?
by. There's the roar of the elemental rings, and they have two elemental rings. They have one in the back and one in the front. But you are, I don't know, maybe.
Well, yeah, I would like to get up to that edge because we've taken
Right
care
here?
of everybody. Yeah, there's no other
Nope.
enemies on our ship.
Uh-uh.
Okay, I'm gonna get up there and then I'm gonna shout at him like, "Who's next?" and try to intimidate whoever can hear or see me.
Okay. Give me an intimidation check.
Shoot the spellcasters?
I would like to.
Womp, womp.
That would be
You're lucky I'm not Satine.
well. It didn't fall off the table.
Yeah.
That would be 14.
Okay. I also got a 14. So you two stare each other down. You and this goblin who's standing here over here at the edge stare each other down, and he just pulls out his big battle axe and runs his thumb over it. Coming!
I'll just swing Mr. Punchy around a little bit and staring him down. Same thing. All right.
If you start to swing Mr. Punchy around after he does that, I'll give you one more roll on this intimidation check to see how it goes. As you are clearly a crazed individual.
That's a 4.
A 4? Swinging Mr. Punchy around makes him go, oh yeah, this'll be fun. All right, so as the, and then he like notices the guy next to him is sleeping and he's like, hey! And he kicks this large guy in the face. He's just kind of like, brr. You guys rise a little bit as that one stands up. You guys have all gone, so we just have waves of bandit and the captain's group. So as it levels out a little bit more, you notice that somebody in a sky suit launched themselves off of the back of the ship and did a little roundabout. And lands inside. He basically like bullets himself directly inside, and then let's actually give him a check to see if he's able to grab onto the. Okay, so he also grabs onto this and closes it, and she's just like, "What?" So down in the little cabin area there is somebody with your cargo. Let's see, that happened around the back, so we'll say that Lausian and Felix saw it. Great. And then the volleys from the archers. This is going to even out a little bit more, so we're not going to have disadvantage anymore. Everybody can kind of see the area now as you see these, the archers move up and actually train a volley on you. Yep. First shot's going to be an 18 on the die. The second one's a 15 on the die. The third one's a crit. And the fourth one's going to miss. So the first firebolt.
So are they now like way closer then?
They're not closer. You are pulling away, but the elevation has changed as you pulled up a little bit when you were pulling away. And they were kind of headed steady. So you're pulling away. The distance is greater, but the elevation is equaling out. So I got a 5 on the firebolt, and then where are you at here? So you're down to 13, and then I got a crit on this one. I got 2 6s, that's a 12. But that takes you to half before this next one hits. You hear a voice kind of creeping up your spine. Let me save you. Release me.
How do I resist that?
You can just decide not to adhere to it.
Okay. Is it? It's after every hit that happens, right?
Every time that you're hit, like as a reaction,
Gotcha.
I would even say that like you don't even have to be hit on this on like further things. Just after your half health, at any point there you can use your reaction to release the symbiont.
Okay.
So we have you down to it was 12, and then the one before that was 5, so 17. You have 1 hit point.
Yay.
So, as you were peppered, let's see what the last one does. Okay, are you sure you don't want to shift?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay,
Because
so you take another hit and you stumble backwards a little bit. The adrenaline that you had kind of like keeping you up it's all you can do to keep from falling off of the stairs. And you're at 0 hit points. And then as you take that bolt kind of like sticks into your armor, right between the little studs, you look over and you can see the captain like,
Can I use Will to Survive as a reaction, or is it during my turn?
It's an action.
It's an action? Okay.
So, with that, the volleys for the bandits are done, and you can see the next group readying their ropes and launching themselves across. This time, they seem to spread out a little bit more, as if they'd learned. Intelligent bad guys? What?
Those are all yours.
And you see the captain grab the guy that's been throwing the firebolts at you. You see him grab him and just give him a couple of words. You can't quite discern whether or not it's stern encouragement or admonishment. As we Walsian, you're up, and
Turning to see
bad guys on deck.
Felix become peppered by enough attacks so it's like a porcupine.
Thanks, I hate it.
Take a moment and go. Undying Court, please restore him back to health. And hit him with a second level cure for 18 hit points.
Nice.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because you're at 0 and he's got Grave Cleric, he maxes the die when he heals you.
Oh, wow.
So
if I'm at 0?
If you're at 0.
Oh, how?
Yeah.
And I go into the cabin.
You go into the cabin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, he did.
I got a plan for that.
You make your way into the cabin. Man, we're going to have to do a little bit of an elevated thingy here.
Set up in a separate side.
Yeah, so we'll push them ahead a bit. Which means that we'll have these guys flying over like this.
Okay.
And this will be the top of yours. And then inside, as you make your way into the cabin, Lossian, I'll remove these. And I'll actually just back this up a little bit. Because maybe that'll help with our ability to see things. Sorry if I'm blocking
Airship.
anybody's view. Airships go.
And is
Hooks is in there.
okay, so what if he was visible?
So you see Hooks kind of backed into this corner, and you see this gentleman with the wingsuit, and you see a dead halfling on the ground. Roll me a perception check.
Nope. I only got a 6.
A 6? Okay. So you don't notice anything about this halfling except it's a halfling. You do notice that one of the guards is standing directly in front of Hooks. The other one seems to be edging towards the door. And then, and the wingsuit guy is pointing his bolt.
He's got a hand crossbow.
He's got a hand crossbow. He's pointing one, and he's like reaching back for another one. But it's not his turn yet. It's the captain's, who seems to grab this guy and push him back towards the back, and then grab onto his armored friend who was praying earlier, and issues some sort of command. The captain then stands back here, and he misty steps.
Hate it.
Let's see, where would he misty step to? Oh, so he actually runs, jumps off of the ship, and then misty steps behind Grizz.
Damn.
And then pulls the greatsword back. So you hear, essentially, you see this big orc run across, leap off, and then with his greatsword, pulls it back in the air. Looks like he's going to be about, 40 to 50 feet short. And then you hear and you smell sulfur as he materializes behind you. And you have the sinking feeling of a greatsword coming down at your head.
So I can make an attack after Misty Step then?
Misty Step is a bonus action.
Ooh, fun.
And as you turn, you see him just in time that when he slices down, he just nicks part of your armor, and you stumble back a step. But Mr. Punchy doesn't lose momentum. The other bandits over there up. Grizz, you're on deck. These guys are going to launch across. They're going to end up landing here. And this one is going to turn, grapple this gentleman right here, and fail to do so. But it looked like he was trying to muscle him off the side. Grizz, you're now up, and you can see the archers across the way cocking the crossbows that they have.
If I were to try to grab the giant orc and throw him off, is that something I could try to do?
If you grapple the giant orc, you can definitely move him about with part of the strength check, but you would need to, like, pushing him off would be hard.
Yeah, okay. Then I'll just, I'll turn around and attack
Okay,
the giant orc.
let me think here. So you want to grab him and throw him off.
Yeah. Or, I mean, if it's easier to do so with the tiny little gentleman over there, if I just try to kick
Oh,
him
yeah.
off.
So that guy you can absolutely just push.
Yeah.
And I'll let you, instead of pushing him, like, away in that way, I'll let you push him diagonally. And so that would essentially, you'd push him off the side. So if you want to Sparta kick that guy,
Yeah.
feel free.
Could I Sparta kick that guy and then use my bonus action to teeth the large gentleman?
If you are able to, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
you can absolutely
Well, let's see where it
direct
goes.
those.
Okay.
So,
And I get to add the D4 to it as well, right?
well, for the Sparta kick,
Uh-huh.
it's going to be a special attack action. So technically, yeah, that counts, I guess. You can use the D4 on that. Plus, it's a strength check. So it's going to be contested, but you get to do it at advantage because you're
Bigger.
raging. But yes, bigger as well.
He's basically football kicking a goblin off an airship,
Yep.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my
And you
goodness.
said that's a strength check?
Yep.
So I had 19.
Okay, so I get a 15, and the goblin doesn't really have any bonus to his strength. So you turn and just rear your leg back and launch it, catching him square in the gut and pushing him off the side. Ah! Another one bites the clouds. As you turn now and launch a massive bite.
Do I get the D4 on that one too?
Yep, that's an attack roll.
That would be.
And did you roll a d6 with it too?
I did. Or, no, I didn't. But
Okay, what is your to hit?
so to hit, that would be 9 plus 5. What is that?
9 and 5?
Yeah, that's
14?
14. Yeah.
Not enough to latch on. You lunge forward, biting onto his shoulder plate.
Ouch.
Yeah. But, you know, you got tusks, right? You do now, right now, as you've shifted. And so you launch, bite down, get a mouthful of metal. But you did just kick a goblin off the side, as you still hear the echo. The volley of arrows now makes its way across as Felix is on deck, and they appear to be... Well, let's do this. Lossian is no longer in view. I'm going to divvy up the rest of these since... Oh, wait, they watched you just get killed. So let's do this. All right, first attack is going to miss. Second attack is the same roll. I got a 16 blizzard. That's going to be a 18. And another is an 18. So you're going to take another 6 points of damage. Which takes you to 12. And you're up.
Okay.
As the volley of arrows again pelts you.
I'm getting real sick of arrows.
They're all invisible to you. Like they're all visible. You can see them all right now.
Great. So with the guy who I had hex on someone, they're now dead.
Yep. You can move it with a bonus action.
Okay. Great. I'm gonna put it onto.
Grizz, you're on deck.
How much of a clear shot do I have of the captain right now?
Of the captain?
Yeah.
Not so much. Basically, like this halfway mark.
Yeah.
We'll say that you can go ahead and take that shot, and if he takes a step back, if he gets knocked back, he's going to be out of your view, but for where he is right now, I would just say he has like maybe half cover, so it'll just add 2 to his AC.
Okay. For now, then, I'm gonna hex his priestly buddy.
Okay.
And I'm gonna position myself. May I move my figure?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to because the door is open. I'm gonna try and use the door as cover against the archers.
Sure.
Pop around and shoot the priest with a blast.
Eldritch Blast?
Yeah.
Okay, so you duck behind the door, push the cook out into the open, grabbing onto the side, and then launching the Eldritch energy out with your left hand.
I didn't. I thought he was.
It's okay, it doesn't matter.
already clear.
You're not a bad person. You're in the heat of combat.
Bad person.
Okay, you are a bad person, but that's not the thing that pushed you over. I think the other things you've done have kind of...
Probably.
I don't think pushing the cook is something that you would actually kick back to me on.
22 on the roll.
Okay, so then I will even say that you come around and as you push him, you actually yell, you actually see him stumble, hit the ground, and you go, yeah, get down, and then you throw the bolt. So you make it appear that you are doing good works. And catching the ish. Unaware, hitting him in the back with the Eldritch Blast, you see the energy hit into his armor and just...
By the way, I'd like to give him,
You like to move the hex?
Oh, I did move the hex onto him.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, so the hex is on him, and for his disadvantage on one attribute, I think I'll put it... He's got a big greatsword, so I'll put it on strength for him.
Okay, it won't affect his attack rolls.
I know.
Okay.
But
you see the strength?
yes. Also, Grizz might try and wrestle him, so...
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so he'll have disadvantage on strength checks. You've hexed him. What do you got for damage?
Damage total is 13.
Nice.
That's a big hit. All right, so you see the Eldritch Blast dent the back of his armor, lunging him forward a little bit. He seems to stumble as he holds up the blade, glances over his shoulder real fast before turning back to Grizz. And you've done a pretty big hit here. You said, how much was that again? 13. All right. He does not look very happy about what you just did. And luckily, he's not up yet. But Lossian, you watch as the guy in the inside the cabin, which is out, fires a bolt at Hooks, and then draws a second. The Hooks miraculously is able to and ducks a little bit out of the way.
It's all the feathers.
It is all the feathers, and then turns, and you see him draw the next shot and fire. This time, and this time the guard there steps in the way and moves his shield up, giving the guy disadvantage on the attack. However, the bolt hits him in the side, and he crumbles to the ground.
Poison.
The captain, okay, Lossian, you're going to be on deck here after the captain and a couple of accomplices make a little moves here, so go ahead and start thinking about what you're going to do. This guy continues, steps forward a little more. This guy moves a little bit, and Hooks kind of backs down into a corner, looking scared. And the captain takes a couple steps back. Actually, he steps forward first, looks down at you.
Can he see me?
He can see you. Whispers a couple of words, and you can give me a strength check.
Okay. I'm real good at those.
Mm-hmm.
No, 7.
7. So you feel a gust of wind slam into the door, pushing you back. You fall back 5 feet into this little alcove, and the door slams shut.
Can I have, does this, would this be an appropriate trigger for me to return with a reactionary hellish rebuke?
It So Hellish Rebuke requires you to be hit. But is it a take damage? It requires that you take damage.
Okay.
And you didn't actually take damage, you just got pushed.
Okay, didn't hurt me.
Right. You feel a gust of wind slamming the door shut, pushing you back a little bit, opening you up now to a little bit better vantage point. He goes, "Now handle him!" He yells over to them and then walks back onto the other side. The archers then turn, open fire. It's a miss, and that's a miss. So a firebolt comes flying over, tattoos the side of the thing. Oh, there's one more. That's a miss. So more bolts hit. You can hear an exasperated, like, "What are you doing?" And there is, where's that? So it's now the orc's turn. It's standing there. He attempts to push Grizz.
Oh dear.
Contested strength check, you get advantage on it, and he gets disadvantage.
Do I roll the d4 with that too?
It is... No, this is just contested for you.
He gets disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
And I have advantage.
Yeah.
So on a strength check, that is a 21.
Okay. So he tries to grab a hold of you, and you're just able to, like... So he's not able to make good on that, but he then tries to shoulder check you. Give me another one.
Okay. At advantage or
Yep.
just... Yep. Okay.
And he's still disadvantaged. I'm going to actually say that your bonus is enough to beat me on this check.
Oh, so I rolled a 19.
Oh, so, yep. So he tries to push you, and then when you buff him off, he tries to slam into you again with his shoulder. Both attempts are not successful. And you see him take a step back. You actually have the opportunity now to make an attack of opportunity if you want.
Yeah. What I wanted to do is do one of those little, like, grab onto him and, like, do a little flip back, try to throw him, but I can only just attack.
Well, you can use your opportunity attack to grapple him if you'd like to.
Nice.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and like,
So-
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're trying to suplex him. However, it may or may not,
Yeah.
if you,
We'll
I'll
see
tell you
how it
what,
goes.
if you crit, you do have advantage on it. If you crit, I'll let you suplex him.
Otherwise, it's just a grapple.
I love this.
Otherwise, it's just a grapple.
Oh, I rolled two 18s though. I mean, that's close. That counts for something.
All right. Well, you're able to keep
that's
him
a
from
dirty-
moving.
What, no,
Nah.
it's a 21. Sorry.
You're able to keep him from moving. He goes to step back, and you grab onto him with one hand while you're swinging Mr. Punchy in the other one. So you keep him from moving, and Lossian, you're up. As the door slams behind you.
I step up to behind the guy approaching Hooks.
Okay?
Prepare and inflict wounds, saying, "Here's the judgment from the court," and reach out and try to grab him
Okay.
for 17 to hit and 22 damage.
All right. You reach in, grab him. It starts to sink in. It's basically like you can see his armor, like, or the wing wear, start to kind of deflate around him, and you actually are able to reach through the back of it, and click, and he just collapses on the ground in front of you. You see this guard go, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, ooh."
Is he a bird as well?
And Hooks is just back there like,
I just look up at Hooks and I go, "No one hurts my friends," and turn and walk towards the door.
just turn and walk towards the door. All right. The door opened. The other group over here, let's see, what do we got? All right, so this guy makes another attempt. He tosses this one off.
Oh no.
and then turns 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we'll say 5, 6. And then this guy, Grizz made fun of him. So 1 comes over. This guy uses dash action and step on the cook, like Grizz. And then as he's rushing across the thing, you see him. And as he gets closer, you recognize that he bears some striking resemblance to Grizz as he comes across. And as he pulls back, you can actually see that in his hands, like attached to both of his hands, are actually brass knuckles. Oh yeah, you're right. Nope. So, and because he doesn't take the attack action, he can't do the bonus action too. So you're very good. Yeah, he makes his way across, and you just see this guy barreling at you with brass knuckles and fangs that are elongating. But this one down here is going to swing at Grizz. He's going to get a 15 to hit.
My AC is 15 now.
Okay, so then he's going to hit, but as the battle axe kind of like cleaves down into your armor, it bites in a little bit and only does about 3 points of damage.
Do I half that, or I just take the 3?
You would half that if you're raging.
Yeah.
It's not. He doesn't have magic damage
still
going.
raging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Still
then I would
attacking.
take. Do you round up or down?
You
It's
you
half
round
three,
down
is
and
it?
it doesn't.
So just
yeah,
take 1.
is fine.
Okay.
Are you doing another initiative, Randy?
Yeah, I'm about to after you because it's your turn.
Cool. I was also going to ask about the drow and the cook,
Okay.
because they haven't taken an action this time.
The drow appears to be chanting
Okay.
something in the back, and when you yelled at the cook to get down, like he just kind of covered himself until he just got stepped on.
Okay.
But the drow seems to be casting something.
Okay. Okay.
It's your turn.
Great. Okay. I will. Definitely do the thing that I keep doing for other things. Actually, I'm gonna try something really silly and ballsy.
Go for it.
Because I got kind of, did I get knocked over or I kind of got knocked back?
You got knocked back. You got pushed back 5 feet. You didn't get knocked back.
Okay. I'm going to kind of turn my face away for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Do Mask of Many Faces. Look up at the guy, and with the captain's face. Not me, you idiot! Over there.
Okay. All right. So use your action to turn your face into the captain.
I'm gonna try and turn myself into what's his name? Cruel Breeze.
Sure. He's going to take
And try and deceive him.
Sure. So he saw you. He was rushing at you. You turned yourself away. You came back. He's going to get an intelligence check at advantage against this because he knew you were there. His first roll is a 6.
Okay.
His second roll is a 16.
Ah,
So, yeah.
fair enough.
Anything else you want to do?
What can I do?
Bonus action?
I don't really have anything as a bonus action to do.
You can Misty Step. You do have that spell left over, and what you did. Well, you did just cast, so you can't.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah. You can move. You could run away if you wanted to. You would just possibly have an opportunity attack.
Yeah, I feel like that would be unfortunate. Can I try and shove him or something like that?
That would take an action. You've already gone
okay.
through this.
Okay, never mind.
All right. So the captain and one of the waves of the captain and his accomplices here are seem to be kind of bustling around a little bit more. And Felix, you're actually going to be on deck again here in a second. As the captain comes back over the side, and he goes, he says, "That's a good trick."
Oh, he saw that. I thought he was out of view.
Yeah, he walks back and forth. We had 6 seconds that are going on here. And then he yells, "Go ahead and toss him off the side." The orc is going to attempt to hit you with his greatsword. We'll do that. Yeah. And I'll go ahead and toss it in. So that's going to be a 16 to hit, which will hit you. And then for 12 points of damage, half. So that's going to be 6. And then and then you see another volley of fire, like a little firebolt, lob over the side. And then the captain kind of turn around and look. And he's like, "Yeah, all right." As another firebolt comes over. Whoop. But that will not hit you. But a little hits into the deck next to you. Felix, you're up.
Great. Okay.
And
I'm gonna just kind of sheepishly shrug and like, worth a try, but... And then try and agonizing blast him in the face.
okay, he's right next to you, so it will be a disadvantage if you use a ranged spell attack on him.
Really not too much I can do about that.
You can take the dodge action, which gives him disadvantage on attacks. You can take disengage and then run away. You could use your bonus action to Misty Step away, and then you could still fire at him.
I need to keep the spell slots.
You can also fire at other people that are not next to him.
Because there's somebody that's next to him,
Oh,
that's what causes it.
gotcha.
I hate it.
And I realize it's 10 o'clock, so good. Thanks for sticking with us. We obviously are going to go a little bit longer on this.
Okay. I'm gonna try and dodge. Then I don't really want him to pull me over the edge, and I'm hoping that Lawson's done with the assassin, but I don't know that for sure. So
Like, can't even open the door.
He did open the door. He's standing.
oh yeah,
there.
the door opens, so it's like Lawson, help, and start trying to dodge. So
All right. So you dodge. The bandit there is going to be up to attack, and your and then Lossian, you're on deck. So he's gonna have disadvantage to hit you. First one was a 17 on the die. The second was a 19 on the die. So he's still gonna make contact with his brass knuckles there, but he's only gonna do 4 damage.
okay.
And that does reduce you to half hit points. If you want to use your reaction for anything. Either the Hellish Rebuke or the uncaging of the beast.
One, I'm sure it's like screaming and yelling at me in my head, but Felix is afraid of it, and he's not gonna let it out
Okay. That's sad.
right now.
So you take a big brass knuckle to the cheek, stagger back a little bit. Lossian watches you get hit again. You're up. Or sorry, you're up.
Oh, I'm
Lossian.
up? I thought he was up next.
Nope. He
I
already
did my
got
turn.
hit.
Okay.
Then there's some bandits on deck,
Um,
and Grizz will be last.
I'll take a 5-foot step back.
Okay. He's going to try and swing at you with the reaction there, but he's gonna miss.
So I used up his reaction.
He used up his reaction.
And I'm going to chill touch him.
Okay, you step back, you toss the chill touch. Go ahead.
For 13 to hit.
13 is not enough to hit him.
I missed.
He ducks the skeletal hand right after swinging at you, his fist slamming into the door. So that was your turn. Do you want to do anything else?
No, that's about all I can do with one.
Okay, so you see now the drow make his way across and seems to be pulling out of the shadow, kind of in the same similar way that Felix pulls his Eldritch Blast. You see him kind of do the same thing, but then you see it start to form into a blade as he tries to attack the orc The blade digs up, penetrating into the armor, and we see him a little bit as he comes to the aid of Grizz, who will be up after the other bandit here goes ahead and attacks. All right. He takes and swings across. And as he does, it looks like he twists his ankle or something, but he moves just a little much, and the momentum of the heavy axe, this great axe, slides out of his grip, but not before. He twists in the air and actually goes over the side, because not only did he roll a 1, he rolled a 1 on his damage too. So he's off the side and plummeting below. And that's the one that you were having a little taunt fest with earlier.
I can't have a fun quit because he's
I feel sorry for whoever's got farms underneath this, because bodies are just plummeted in.
It probably happens.
Oh my
It's
god.
Let's see. And then you just hear from the side, like, the cabin boy is playing little fight music, like kind of like trying to help keep the tempo up.
Going down with the shit.
Work
Yeah.
for those bard levels, kid.
Yeah, right. Grizz is up, and Lossian, you're on deck. How many spells have you burned? You burned your
I've
2
got
second
2.
levels.
Yeah, we got 2 first and 2 seconds burned.
Okay. All right, so you're on deck after Grizz. Grizz, you've got this gentleman in front of you.
I would I'd attempt to throw him off again.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yep, go ahead. You have him grappled, so now you're going to move him,
Okay.
and then it'll be a push. So you still have advantage on this.
Okay. So I
Good
roll
old
2
hits.
d20s. Do I get the d4 with it
No.
too?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Oh, wait. Yes, this is the push, so go
He's got
ahead.
disadvantage, but he's got advantage.
Yes.
Exactly. He's got advantage because he's raging. And
Yep. It's kind of like a...
Well, that's a
double.
crit.
A
you
double.
got a crit?
Yeah.
Tell me what it looks like as you kill it.
Well, so I see him get stabbed,
Mhm.
and then I grab and then do this little sidestep thing and just throw him into the air and laugh in his face as I see his own face concerned as he sees what's happening and it's sinking in. And I do a little
Okay.
little wave.
So the stab from the shadow blade comes up, tears into the armor, and he kind of staggers a little bit, just enough after you've already grabbed him with one arm, and you're swinging Mr. Punchy, and then you notice that he kind of like loses his footing. You grab him, turn and fling him, and you wave with Mr. Punchy back and forth in the air as he's, the blade goes spinning off into the air. Dropping down into the clouds, as he does as well.
And I try to catch the eye of the captain over there watching this unfold and like little nod to the captain on the way there.
All right. So as you do that, the captain goes, okay. And Lossian, you're up.
Okay. From where I can see the guy, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to chill touch him again.
Okay.
This is going to be a 21.
A 21?
Sorry, a 22.
22.
For 6 points of damage
All right.
and no healing for him.
All right. So you see that inky green mist kind of like wrap around him, and he staggers a little bit, feeling. And then you see the captain go. And then you see him create a door. Right here. And right here. Or actually, probably like in the center of the ship. And everybody rushes towards the door. And even though that's more than you can usually take, you don't know anything better.
Yeah.
As the rest of them, he's no mere PC.
Teleport.
This guy's dead.
Yeah, he's not alive.
As you see the entire group just kind of that little distance there, and he's the last one out the door as it shuts behind him. And then you see him turn, and he goes, "Stop playing that flute." All right, so, and then that group makes their way through, and then 2 rush Grizz. 1 actually is going to rush this guy. And then the mage is going to stand back a little bit. This guy's going to stand back. They're going to move a little bit direction there. And this guy is going to rush towards the staircase and start to make his way up. You're going to get a firebolt and a... so that's going to be
Are there any
9 points of...
shooting into melee in that regard?
If this guy was between the two of you, you might have half cover, but there's a window where he can definitely shoot it in there.
Okay.
So that's 9 points of fire damage.
Which guy's shooting me?
This one?
Rude.
Yeah, 9 points of fire damage, and then the other one's also going to be shooting across there with his crossbow bolt. But he's going to miss.
Okay.
So 9 points takes you to...
0. Actually, -1.
Yep, -1. So 0. And Grizz, you're going to get a crossbow bolt flying at you. That's going to be an 18 to hit, plus his dex, so 21-ish, 22. And 5, 6, 7, 8 points of damage. Half is going to be 4. What does that put you at?
That puts me at 4, so 26.
All right. Dun 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 dun. So Lossie and you went.
Yep.
Okay, and then they went, and the captain is gone. Where'd that one go? All right, so Felix, you're up.
So, will to survive. If I'm burning, burning my dragon
The
mark.
aberrant, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm burning my dragon mark to heal myself instead.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do for that? Do I just roll my hit dice, or do I just get 8? What do I do?
Yeah, so it should be.
It's hit dice plus my constitution.
Yeah. Just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to roll. Where did I put that?
So I do roll a dice.
Hold on. So as an action, you can expend the use of one of your aberrant spells to immediately spend a number of hit dice up to the spell's level. So you only have 1.
Yeah.
So you get to roll that. You can roll one of your hit dice right now. You still knock that off, and then you add your Constitution modifier. So you regain a number of hit points equal to the total minimum 1.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
1.
Okay, you regain 1, and you have no Constitution bonus.
Nope.
So at least you're up to 1. That's your action. You have a bonus action. And technically, you could still use your reaction if you needed to.
No, not really. Nothing I can particularly do other than just... Oh, I was taking a defensive action.
The dodge.
Yeah?
You're right. That dodge would have... Okay, hold on 1 second. So
usually we don't like to rewind, though, so... And I know we're running late, so we don't have to...
Yeah, give me a second. I wish you told me that before the... yeah, I know, me too, right? So, I'd say that one of those still would have hit you.
Sure.
So that would have taken you instead of... yeah, let's just not. Right now, we just
That's
don't.
fine.
Yeah.
That's super fine. I don't mind. But I will do a... can I do a defensive again?
Yeah, you can take the dodge action again.
Cool.
And this time, help track.
Yeah.
All right, so you've done that. You did heal a little bit. You know what? Here's what we'll do.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of make up for that, why don't you roll that hit die one more time to see if you do better than 1?
2.
2. It is, in fact, better than 1. And now I don't feel bad. So, after that, the other... you can see the ship over here now starts to turn with you and seems to actually be nearing closer and closer, especially because it moves faster. So it seems to be closing the distance. There's now only about 30 feet between you. And that's everyone. Okay. We didn't, but we should. All right. So the bandits next to Grizz, you see the one move up first next to the drow and crits. So comes across, takes the bow, slams it into the jaw, and then comes down across as basically flattens the drow's skull. You see blood and spit just roll across the deck. The one that comes up, the little dwarf there that comes up against you, Grizz, you can see a pair of daggers. Well, a short sword and a dagger. The first attack roll is going to miss with the long sword, but the second one with the dagger is going to get 15 to hit, which is enough. And then 6 halved is 3. And the captain, Lossian, you're on deck. The captain steps over towards, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Steps over, looks into this area, and then makes his way to the door and looks in to see Lossian in there. And he goes, sleep.
I don't care. I'm an elf. I'm immune to sleep.
That's right, you are. And let's see how much you actually end up being immune to in that.
Oh, man.
And he goes, sleep.
No, thank you.
I couldn't see your ears under that stupid hair. So that's his action.
Amazing.
And you're up. Who else? Oh, you tossed the other guy off the side. This guy's driving the boat, so go ahead.
Me?
Yep, you're up.
Okay. Well,
Here's your on deck.
I'm gonna have to use bonus action and cast Healing Word on Felix
Please.
for 4 points of hit points.
Up to 6.
And then the guy who's in the doorway is gonna try to get another chill touch on him with the cantrip.
All right.
That's a 14 this time.
14 is enough to hit.
Yay!
And while he's rolling his damage, everybody in chat say thank you to our amazing crew who is staying later than normal so that we can finish this fight out.
7 points.
7 points?
And he doesn't get to hit.
So this time as it wraps and rotates around him again, you can see that green starting. He seems to gasp for air, and a couple of seconds later struggles and collapses at Felix's feet.
And I say, Felix, stop the captain.
Go, man. Yes, please.
Grizz, you're up.
Yeah. So
Felix, you're on deck.
just gonna try to throw that guy off the side there.
Which
The
one?
The
The dwarf?
Yeah.
All right, so you turn around. Go ahead.
That is a 21.
Okay. And I'm going to get... All right. So you turn around and you sling Mr. Punchy into him. It catches him, clocks him on the side of the head. He stumbles off the side.
I was on one tonight.
I mean, advantage on the side of a thing. It really helps with your strength there. So he goes down. Anything else you want to do? You have your bonus action.
Yeah, I'll chomp on that one right there.
All right, so you launch out with your fangs. Felix, you're on deck.
10?
10?
Yep. Oh, wait, plus 5 would be 15.
That is
Obviously,
enough
yeah.
to hit.
Okay, great. And then I rolled a
Your
two.
D6.
Oh, the D6? Okay, I rolled a D4. My bad. 4.
plus your...
Plus 3, so 7.
Yep. Okay. Plus your rage. 2 more. So 9. All right. So as you see her just whack and then hit the guy again. The drow collapsing on the ground. You can see his skull is a little bit lumpier than it was before. And then you just launch forward, biting onto grasping onto her neck. Ah! She is going to try and push you off. You get advantage on your strength check as she tries to break free of your grapple. Or break free of your bite.
Is it a strength check?
Yep.
Do I get a D4 on that too?
No.
Okay, so I had a 13.
So she is able to get your mouth off of her, but is not able to push you off quite yet.
As in off the entire airship?
Yes.
Okay.
But it was really close. And then, Felix, you're still taking the dodge action as you see. You have the dodge action? Oh, no, you went.
I haven't gone yet. You said I was up next.
Oh, you were up next. Okay, sorry, I moved it too soon. So, Felix, you're up. There are bandits on deck.
Cool.
My apologies, Andre.
Sliding hex onto the captain, hitting with an Eldritch Blast, hopefully.
What are you hexing?
The captain. Sliding.
Which stat?
Which stat?
Oh, intelligence. I don't know.
Okay. All right, so you sleight of hand him in the intelligence, or sorry, you hex him with intelligence, and you are Eldritch Blasting?
Yes.
Okay. He is not, like, we're going to say he's not within 5 feet of you.
Great.
Uh,
So I hit 15 AC.
15 is not enough for the captain. But you do blast a nice little hole in the door. And he turns to look at you. That's right, you're my troublemaker. And also, Lossian, I forgot, but you notice that guard collapse. And Hook's collapse from the sleep that happened earlier. Because you took none of it. And this bandit makes his way up and grabs onto the helmsman that's there, attempts to grapple her. He is able to grab onto her and starts, looks like he's pushing her towards the edge. Oh, actually, she's on the edge. He kicks her off.
These NPCs are useless on this crew.
Nah,
They're
taking attacks.
Fighters, yeah. So you kick her off, and as she's flying back, you can see the oilskin coat that she's got, and you can see the blue of her dragon mark kind of flicker a little bit as she attempts to make a gust, keep her on the deck, does not succeed, and then in this darkened evening sky, you can see the flicker of the elemental ring of your ship start to go out. And she falls away. The captain turns around, mortified, and yells, "Abandon ship!" Just as the other ship slams into your ship and tips it. Everybody makes me a dexterity saving throw. You can have advantage on that. It's not technically an attack or anything like that, but I'll say your danger sense can see the track that's coming up there.
Natural 20.
I got a natural 20 again, too. Man,
Okay.
yeah.
19.
Wow.
You're hot.
All right, so you guys all stay on your feet while these two fall overboard from natural ones. This one staggers a little bit, but doesn't. This one remains firm. The captain actually crit as well. And that's essentially it. I'm going to clean this board up a little bit. Oh, the cook slams into the thing. What?
Hooks and the guys inside too.
Slide. Oh, you step over them?
Yeah.
Okay. So they all slide down to the thing there, and they look back up.
Get up.
Yikes.
Yeah, we'll say that wakes them up. They don't stand up yet, but after that, Felix went, Bandits went, and the next one is the one that's going to turn around and attack. Try and push Grizz again. That's the only one I think I have left. Oh, and I didn't do the kid over there. So, Grizz, your AC is 15, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Actually, this would be a contested check, so you can go ahead and roll me the strength checks at advantage. And the kid also flips overboard. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Oh no.
Strength check?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's fine.
21.
21?
Yeah.
All right, so unable to push you off. I'm just going to remove that now. Unable to push you off. I'll still try and hide this from you a little bit.
We won't look. We got that.
Yeah, Grizz is way over there, so he can't. And Grizz, you're up.
Okay. We got this person left here. Yeah.
You got two people still on the deck there, plus the captain, and the elemental ring on your ship is flickering and going out. At the same time, the other ship hits you, and yours now starts to tilt on its side. It's rolled about 15 to 20 degrees right now, but everything is starting to push down that direction.
Okay. And do I see this person in front of me? It seems like they're losing their footing, or
She's held firm so far.
okay. I feel like if that's what's happening, I would just brace for impact, sort of deal happening.
Okay, so you still have an action and stuff like that. Is there anything? I
Yeah.
mean, like if you want to like grab hold
That
of the
would be
railing, I
bonus
can see
action.
you. But
Okay.
well,
So
it's
can I
not-
attack and then
You can
bonus?
do whatever you want to. You're
All right,
if
I'll attack
when it
this
comes
person.
time for you to fall, I'll tell you.
I will attack that lady.
That would be.
It's a 7. Wait, is that a 12?
17. It's a 17. Okay, 17 plus 1 plus the 5. Yeah.
You're gonna hit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, and then I roll the.
D6
Yep.
for the bite, or for punchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a 1 on the plus 5.
Okay, so Mr. Punchy comes across, and that's going to be enough that when you pull Mr. Punchy down on this one, you give a little poof down, and just the bowling pin inside there just cracks her skull, and she just crumbles. And then as the deck is there, she just starts to slide.
And then I will use my bonus to, I don't know, hold on or something. Ready
Sure,
for
you can
something.
rush across to the other one and try and bite them, or you can go after the captain. Like,
Oh, yeah, let's go after the captain. Yeah.
okay, so you move over and try and bite down on the captain.
We got. That's not happening. I rolled a 4.
Yeah, I don't think I'm hitting.
Okay, he takes a step back and sees you, and he's like, fine. And he pulls out a large sword. It's on the side there, runs over. This one runs over and attempts to grapple the captain. Useless. And then drags him next to the side, even though you're tilted already. And the ship peels back away. And next bandit goes. So this one runs over and says, "Get off the captain!" And swings a long sword at you, but is going to miss. The captain steps away from you. You can take an op attack if you'd like to.
At advantage or just?
Are you reckless attacking?
Always. Yeah.
Okay, then yes at advantage.
Okay.
Plus you get your D4. And if you're hitting with Mr. Punchy, you might as well grab the
D6
yeah.
as well.
That would be
A 14 plus 5.
Lost in your eye.
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20?
With a 4 damage.
Okay. As you go to hit him with Mr. Punchy, you see like as Mr. Punchy comes across, you see him just hold up his hand and he goes, "No." and seems to deflect Mr. Punchy off the side. And then he turns in there into the room and he goes, "Oh, good." And as he does that, a rolling crackle, which you both have heard before. And
I'm on deck.
you're on deck, but the fireball explodes in the room. So make me dexterity saving throw. They're all going to have disadvantage for being on the ground.
Does he get disadvantage for his roll? Or because
It's a saving throw, not an attack roll, so it doesn't.
Do I need to make a roll too? Or...
No, it's
No,
going into the room.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So the guard got a 16 and a 17, so still is able to kind of roll into a little bit of safety. First roll for that. Okay, wow. All right.
I got a 19.
A 19? Okay, so... that's 28 points of damage.
So 14.
So 14 points, and everybody in the room saved. But what you see is the hooks. That hooks like get this blast as the heat wave kind of rolls over him, and what's left there is the corpse of a guard. While as the guard is now big and fluffy, and Hooks is like, oh, oh, starts knocking out, and then turns and looks at the captain, and he goes, oh, and launches himself out in a seemingly fight and flight maneuver. You are on deck, but this is his reaction to come after them. So that is going to be enough for him to launch forward and grasp onto the captain. And you see the captain like rear back with his sword, ready to slam into him. But you are up. Felix, you're on deck.
I will toll dead the captain.
Okay.
So it's a save. It's
He's gonna fail.
okay.
Yay.
For 9 points of damage.
All right. So you see the familiar, like, little bit of droplets of blood coming up out of his head, but he doesn't seem to pay much attention to it as he starts to attack back. Felix, you're up.
Hooks now has him at grapple, right? Is that what happened?
Hooks does have. Actually, Hooks attacked him and hurt him. So
Okay, so it's not a grapple?
it's not a grapple.
Damn it. Okay. Fair enough. Alright. Okay, damn it. I have a feeling, if I cast Shadow Blade, I can't actually attack with it the same round, can I?
I believe it's a bonus action to cast it. So you
No, it was
could.
part of the
yeah.
attack action.
Oh, is it part of the attack action?
I mean, yeah, it's
I
like,
don't think it is.
I'll look it up.
I got it. Go ahead and.
It's okay. I kind of want to keep my spell slot anyway, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna. I know it's at disadvantage, but I'm gonna try and hit him with a blast.
Okay.
Damn it! Got a 20 and a 3.
So you reach forward, dragging the energy through the air, putting it right up next to his face, and assuming that you're about to just blast through until the Talon comes forward, knocks him back a step, and he rears back to hit. But he does see you blast another hole in the door across from him and appears mildly perturbed as you all feel a jolt. And you see, not only is the elemental ring given out, but the deck appears to have snapped. We're going to use the stairs to show the snapping and elevation of the airship as it rips apart in the center. It's all good. And Hooks is up there. Okay. The environment went. Let's see what happens. The airship. Let's see who's left bandit-wise. So everybody can give me, as it breaks, everybody can go ahead and give me another saving throw.
What kind of secret?
Dexterity, so you can do it with advantage if you want to.
Oh, okay.
It's technically an environmental thing, so. Hooks slides back into the wall, but luckily there's a bunch of dead bodies to cushion his fall. Captain's fine. The guard here slams and falls over. Ooh, let's see what happens. Yeah, the cook hits, wow, okay. So the cook ends up hitting the captain. And since the captain doesn't get to go, like he ends up hitting the captain and he buckles under that. We'll make his attack at disadvantage. The captain maintained his footing, but didn't roll high enough for me to think that he's going to jump this. Grizz, what'd you get?
12.
A 12. You and the guard topple over and slam into each other as you see, like, you guys start to feel now the weight of gravity start to pull on you, and your bodies are starting to, like, separate from the deck as the deck separates from itself. What'd you get?
19.
A 19. You're able to maintain standing right next to the wall, kind of at the angle you're at. Lossian, you got
17.
a 17. So you're able to keep your footing leveling out, lowering your center of gravity, and you're up. And then, Felix, you're on deck.
Another toll to the captain.
All right, toll the captain again. Yes, I fail.
12 points.
12? That's a big one.
It's a maxed.
All right. So he staggers. Anything else you want to do?
There's not a lot I can do right now.
All right. Felix, you're up.
I have a quick question. Someone who's acting as an elemental helmsman, their whole attention is divided onto maintaining the ship, right? They can't really do anything else?
No, not always.
Not always?
No, only in like maybe evasive maneuvers or getting it started or like, so like anything that's like maybe during a storm they might.
Okay.
But for the most part, unless they're like, they kind of get it going and unless there's anything that acts up with it or if they need to like engage it, you know, like more or less.
Mhm.
However, when they leave, they no longer have the connection to that elemental and it senses that they're not there anymore. So it basically is like, oh, yeah, it's like whatever.
Okay. I'm going to, hopefully that disadvantage on the captain means that I don't get stabbed. I'm going to dash past him and Misty Step onto the bridge of the little ship.
Okay, so at this point, it's pulled further away.
Oh, I thought it, like,
It
literally
hit
like
you
a turn
guys.
ago smashed
And
into us.
not one turn, it's been a couple. It came over, it hit, and then it started to move away.
Okay, so how far away is it?
I'd probably say like about 120-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, they move pretty fast too.
Okay, well, never mind then. I'm gonna get to a bit more of a further away step, like over to here, if I can.
Okay. Do you want to just run past him, or do you want to?
I'm moving past him.
Okay. So you managed to kind of like struggle yourself over to this space that is definitely not going to want to stay.
I've got a location I can stick it. Okay.
Yay!
But yeah, I go to there for a potential firing position and try and Eldritch Blast him in the back.
Okay.
And a miss. Well, I get a 15, so.
A 15 will miss. And he,
Is he prone when he went down?
the captain didn't go down.
Okay.
He just got buckled, which gave him disadvantage on the attack roll just now, which is good for Felix because he only got a 12 on it. And then the bandit tries to stand up, stabilizing herself down there, and then attacks Grizz. And has advantage on the attack roll because you were prone, but gets a 7. So tries to stomp down onto the thing, and you kind of like move just enough out of the way. The captain is up after that. So that one went. The captain goes ahead and tries to make his attack roll on Hooks. No, because they're like, oh, I guess Hooks did fall across the thing. So yeah, he does move into the room, and Hooks went down, so he gets advantage on it and not disadvantage. So it's the one roll. He's still not going to get enough to hit. Hooks. Actually, no, he does. Let's see how much damage it does. Okay, you see his blade sink down into Hooks' midsection. And then Grizz, you're up.
Okay. Am I prone right now?
You are prone at the moment. Standing up will take half your movement.
Okay. Yeah, I'll stand up and I'll attack the lady next to me. Do I get the D4 too? Still?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And it's
part of your feature.
advantage.
Lawson, you're on deck.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
Well, actually more than that. But
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're able to stand up and attack her.
That would be 7.
7 points of damage, and
No,
then
actually, sorry, 9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay, 9 points of damage, and then do you want to use your bonus action?
Sure.
All right.
I crit again.
You crit. All right, so you launch, you slam Mr. Punchy into her. She staggers a little bit, trying to hold herself up. You bite down, and you just tear her throat out. And she kind of gargles a little bit, takes a couple of steps back, and then the ship staggers again, and she just topples off the side. You paint the sky. Felix, you're up.
Totally dead.
Felix.
You said I was on deck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Felix, you're on deck. Lawson, you're up.
Totally dead.
Okay, you told the dead. Captain gets a 17 on the die.
He does not take damage then.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Felix.
Proximity of ship. What's the distance on it now? Has it moved at all, or?
It is moving. It seems that it's going to stay. Like, it looks like it's trying to stay where it is as your ship is starting to break apart.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it maybe is moving to about maybe 200-ish feet away.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Yep.
Do I still look like the captain?
Your face does. Nothing else does. Like, I mean, your body does.
Sure.
But you're wearing your own.
Why? Disguised self. It's not just my face. It's my whole body.
Oh, it's the one that changes your. Yeah. Okay. No, you're.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look like the captain entirely.
Okay. Can I make a deception check and flag them down and get them to start approaching?
I will let you make a deception check. He did see the captain goes up. I'll make this flat. Sure.
So that is a 16.
Okay, I crit.
Okay, that's fine.
So the wind whipping past,
Flip me
and
off.
yeah.
Cool.
So after that, the captain is going to take his attack again against Hooks.
Oh, I mean,
Sorry. What?
how much of an action of trying to flag that down is that?
If
Is
you're,
that my
that would be
entire-
an action. You'd be like,
That's everything.
you
then?
get a bonus action. You can move.
I'll line myself up for a potential shot on the captain if that person isn't really.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just slide a little bit.
Sure.
So we'll just say we'll remember that
Yeah.
you're right there. So the captain makes another stab at Hooks. That's gonna miss. Slams the sword down into the floor, and you feel another as the ship now begins to break in the center and splits apart, and you all start to rise up off the deck as it splits. The captain seems to be preoccupied with Hooks, who he's still got a hold on. He's trying to attack. Hooks is falling back now, but seems to be trying to right himself so that he can fly. The rest of you are now in essentially a free fall, except for Lausian, who hits the top, but is a little bit weightless. You two are now rising up off the deck. And I forgot that guy, but we'll say that they both fell off. And yeah, that bandit's done for. The ship seems to be holding steady at about 200. That other guy's dead, so I can get rid of that. Grizz, you're up.
Am I able to move in there, or am I like? I'm like in the air. So.
Kind of in the air. You're you know, you can kind of like try and angle your body a little bit. So I'm gonna say that at least for the moment, trying to maneuver like this is gonna give you, it's gonna be half movement only because like you're starting to separate from it and you don't really have anything to grasp onto.
Okay. Can I get to the captain and attack him?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's say you're able to kind of like drag yourself around, like hold on to the side, pulling yourself into, grabbing onto the top of the door through the little holes that have been made by Felix and pulling yourself around. You're able to kind of hold on to this. And
Still raging.
still raging and making an attack on the captain. What are you hitting with, Mr. Punchy?
Yeah.
Okay. You come flying around the corner, swinging Mr. Punchy into the void.
Yeah. Sorry, that's 12. 12 to hit.
12 is not enough to hit. Bonus action?
Yep.
All right.
We'll go.
D4.
That's 13. 13 to hit.
All right, still not enough to hit. However, through the magic of random initiative, you get to go again. Go ahead and make your attacks.
Well, yeah.
Grab those D6s, roll all the things at once.
That is a 15 plus 5, dirty 20 to hit.
Okay, so you slam again as you flail back and forth with Mr. Punchy.
6 damage.
6 damage. Woo! And go ahead and make your bonus action attack.
Well, I rolled a d4. That would be a 14.
Okay. You clock him with Mr. Punchy. And then as you come back around, you're able to like pull yourself into the door just enough, bite down on his neck. And as you do that, he staggers just a little bit. And what do you do as you clamp down onto his neck?
I savor the flavor.
Okay. You bite down, you just start pulling back and forth, and you just feel that spatter hit, and you just, oh, it feels good. And he seems to just kind of drift back, letting the sword go, letting Hooks go. And there's no more. Felix?
He's an ex-pirate?
He's an ex-pirate. An ex-pirate. And Lausian, you're on deck. Basically, at this point, there's no more initiative. We don't need to be worried about it. Everybody is dead. There is still the other ship over there. It seems to kind of it had already slowed down as best it could to kind of make up the difference between your ship basically breaking apart in midair. The other ship starts to circle back around, looking for the captain, but then sees him dip out of the side, but also sees another one weightlessly floating up and tries to discern which one was which, has no idea. As Felix lifts up into the air, Grizz, you are kind of holding on to things as it all starts to break up. So Felix, what are you doing?
Is it a secondary action to call DeVry to go fetch me a spell?
It is a bonus action, I believe.
I should have done that a couple of turns ago. I'm getting him to grab me a featherfall.
Okay.
I get it in, I think it's D12 turns.
Yeah.
Minus my charisma.
Minus your charisma.
So 1 turn from now, I get featherfall.
Okay, so you get Featherfall next turn.
Okay.
You guys are thousands of feet off the ground right now. And then the other guy's starting to come across. What's up?
I'm gonna try and swim towards the rest of the party and tell them all to like group together. We're gonna featherfall.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we should. I can cast that.
Oh well.
Hooks. I move over to Hooks.
He can
Hooks,
just
are-
fly.
Are you
I mean,
okay?
if there's no initiative right now, can we just say? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
you
was-
guys
I was
can
gonna
float
grab
out of it.
Hooks and pull him to where I think is going to be safe. I heard him say that, so I'm going to grab Hooks and try to.
I go over
Yeah.
to Hooks and check to make sure he's not dead or dying.
Yeah, it's a bonus action to request device. So he's like, oh, okay. And he just poof, kind of bamfs out into in like a streak of fire.
Yeah, so I'm checking Hooks to make sure he's not dying. Make sure he's.
Hooks appears wounded but not dying. And everything else, the ship is continuing to kind of break apart in midair. Over the next couple of even seconds, it's just essentially... And the rest of you are now free falling as the other ship takes its pass around. We're just going to go ahead and remove all of that, except for the debris that is floating about. All right, what's up?
Did that?
Poor cook.
Did that? The guard that was Hooks, not Hooks that was the guard, die from the fireball?
Yeah.
Whatever did the flute player? I forgot.
Flute player went off
well,
the side.
Oh, no.
While I'm trying to keep Hooks fairly central,
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get one of his owl feathers.
Okay. You yank a... So as you get... No.
I'm
Come
wait-
on.
I'm waiting for one. I'm pulling one of the ones that's been stabbed out
Yeah,
or
yeah,
pull
yeah.
it.
Yeah. As you guys are falling, you're like, ooh, boop. And he's like, ooh. And he goes, it looked loose. Ooh. And then you're all free falling.
My plan is to set up a ready to action when we get within 500 feet of the ground to cast Featherfall on everybody.
Okay. What are you doing?
As soon as we're in this group like this, I'm gonna yell to the rest of the group, play along. I'm gonna pretend to be the captain.
Okay.
I will cast Featherfall,
Okay.
assuming that DeVry has returned it. I will pull my crossbow pistol and point it at the party, getting them to kind of look like they surrender.
Okay. So as you start to fall and you pull back, you yell, play along, and then feather fall all of them, and then you pull out your crossbow, point it at Hooks.
Yes, and say, give up now.
Okay. And the other guy on the ship will see you, and you can have advantage on your deception check.
I'll go like this. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
23. So the ship, as it's curling back around, the helmsman that's left there is holding on to, and he's like looking, scanning, and then he sees you. He's like, there's the captain. And then he sees that everybody is essentially like this. And even Hooks is like, and then you see him like loop back around, and just as your feather fall is about to give out, the ship is able to make its way underneath you, and you guys land. Yep, everybody can basically right themselves, and you land on top of the Ice Singer 2. No, this is the Ice Singer. This is the little sloop that is the thing. So you land there, and you still look like the captain. You turn and look at the guy, and he's like, good job. We lost the whole crew, but you got him. Kill him.
No, I've decided to keep him alive for now.
Okay. All right.
Don't take us back to Sharn. We don't want to go back there.
Sure, Captain, what do you want to do?
I think we should make our way back to Shan, in fact. I'm going to go take these below deck and have them tied up, point the crossbow pistol at them menacingly.
I'll try not to laugh.
Okay, I'll yell if I see anything.
I plan to torture these. Considering they've killed so many of our men, we're going to make it hurt.
Okay. You're the captain.
Yep.
All right, and he turns the ship just a little bit more, making the heading back towards the city of towers, which you can see the lights all in the distance.
I'm tapping him on the shoulder
No,
once
no,
we're
no, no.
inside.
Once you guys get below deck, you can talk.
Yeah.
We should probably take him to Andera, actually.
We should probably take him where he wants to go, because
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
going
yeah.
to get killed back at Charn.
Yes, I know.
He goes, can we still not go to Sharn?
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought I told that to somebody.
You're gonna tell the guy, or
Yeah, I will tell him.
oh, good.
Are you
Yep.
okay, Hooks?
Oh, stab. I'm a big owl.
I'll help you. I'll pull out bandages.
Ooh, right here.
Okay.
Points it out, and then you're gonna go back up and tell the
Yeah,
guy.
I'm going to go back up, and it's like, apparently they have a safe house. I intend to find out more about it. I'll continue to get information. We're headed this way, to Ander.
You're certainly a cruel captain. You were able to, wow. And then you turn your way and move yourself back inside, and then you see on his desk that it says Captain Cruel, and it's spelled with both of them with K's.
No, God.
And as he turns the ship back towards Ander, that's where we're gonna end as our roseless party makes their way to her homeland and the safe house.
Yep.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us. I know that one went over a little bit. Long combats tend to. And congratulations to our Inkwell pixel art, which won the Wormwood box. Thank you to Hero Forge, where we got to use these. We have not had the opportunity to paint them yet, but thank you, Hero Forge, for making those happen. Showing the versatility of Dwarven Forge, we made airships. And also, congratulations to our winner, whom I had, but I forgot. But that's okay. I feel like it was a Dark Sith Lord person. Thank you to Black Magic, Level Up Dice, who helped Grizz roll so many crits tonight, and Sirenscape, and to you guys. Like, thank you for giving us the opportunity to come and play, and for you guys coming to hang out with us and staying up late, and to our wonderful crew, and Andre, Ben, Chris back there, Nicole, wherever you are, Steven, Melanie, thank you guys for being so wonderful for us, and we'll keep you posted. This could have been the finale, or it could be in a few weeks, but we'll either be back in a few or off for a few. On for a few. Anywho, oops. Right. We'll let you know by the socials. I'm sure you'll hear. Do you guys have anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
That's
Well,
super fun.
one last thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Two last thank yous. Thank you to the Neverwinter team for having me up last week. It was a lot of fun. If you guys haven't seen it, check out those things on the Instas and the Twitters, and I'll let you know who I am when I'm allowed to. With all that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope Hump Day was more enjoyable because we were here humping it through the sky. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you later. Bye. Bye.